Chapter 1947. Yin Long said, "Don't worry, if we were really targeted, we would have died a long time ago. The sudden appearance of the heavenly eye should not be aimed at us." No one knew how strong the heavenly eye in the sky was, but it looked extremely terrifying. It was as if they could be killed at any time under the gaze of the heavenly eye. It might be a coincidence, Yun Long said with a relieved smile. The heavenly eye has appeared for so long, but it hasn't made any movements. It shouldn't be aimed at us. Qin was still worried. He was worried that the appearance of the heavenly eye was related to his nine-son divine spirit. Really? But why do I feel that it's coming from us? Qin looked worriedly at the pair of huge eyes that appeared in the blue sky. This might be because you feel that you have absorbed a large amount of nine-son divine power, so you have a guilty conscience and are worried that you will be targeted. Yin Long said with a smile, "Don't worry, nothing will happen. I'll go ask those fellows from the heavenly law divine realm." Yin Long suddenly disappeared. Qin Yun let Yang Shiryu control the heaven-leaping shuttle and head towards the heaven-suppressing sect. The divine inscription mountain and the heaven city have both gone to the heaven-suppressing sect. After a few days, they must have arrived. After the heaven-leaping shuttle passed through space, it was very close to the heaven-suppressing sect. Qin Yun and company looked at the sky from the main control room and could still see the terrifying heavenly eye. Ling Yun said, "Xiao Yun, the heavenly eye should not be targeting the nine-son divine spirit. If it really was, it would have already taken action. Is that so? But why would it appear after the nine-son divine spirit absorbed a large amount of nine-son divine power?" Qin Yun asked doubtfully. "The nine-son divine spirit hasn't moved at all. It hasn't evolved yet. It shouldn't have attracted the mysterious heavenly punishment." Ling Yun said. Just as Qin Yun was worrying, Princess Anna suddenly shouted in alarm, "Look ahead." Qin Yun looked ahead and saw three huge objects floating in the air. Two of them were Heaven Creation City and Heaven Suppressing Sect, and the other one was Ling Tian Flying City. Ling Tian Flying City was actually here. How did this guy from the Ling Tian clan find the Heaven Suppressing Sect? Qin Yun said, "I thought they would continue to stay in buried Heavenland. I didn't expect them to come looking for Heaven Suppressing Sect and Heaven City." Princess Yi said, "I'll go take a look. You guys go back to Heaven Suppressing Sect first. Don't come into contact with the people from the Ling Tian clan for now." Princess Yi left the heaven-leaping shuttle and flew towards Ling Tian City. Heaven creating, heaven suppressing, heaven Ling Tian. They're all together. I wonder if they are related. Qin Yun looked at the three huge monsters in front of him. "Xiao Yun, let's return to the divine inscription mountain first." Yang Shiryu said. The divine inscription mountain turned into a garden stone ship, floating in the air. Although it was quite big, compared to the three flying cities, it was pitifully small. The inscription divine mountain was near the heaven-suppressing gate. Qin Yun controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle to go over and said, "There should be a large number of heavenly guards surrounding Heaven Suppression Gate. Yet there aren't any. Could they have all left? Both Heaven Creation City and Ling Tian City have come. They have no choice but to leave. If they fight, they will all die." Yang Shiryu laughed. While flying towards the divine inscription mountain, Qin Yun raised his head and looked at the pair of heavenly eyes in the sky. He could not help but shiver because he felt that the pair of huge eyes were staring at him. The heaven-leaping shuttle entered the space inside the divine inscription mountain. It was very lively inside. The ancient ox devil, Fire Qilin, Black Rat by Zhe, and the three dragons, as well as Ding Tianchun and his son, were all inside the divine inscription mountain. The heavenly Lion King also chuckled and bragged to the ancient ox devil and the others. "Sect Master Qin, your territory is really not bad. It's much better than my Oxhead Mountain." When the ancient ox devil saw Qin Yun return, he chuckled and said, "I have no home to return to now. I'll temporarily stay here with you for a period of time." Qin Yun said with a smile, "The territory of the heaven-suppressing gate is so big. If you don't go, what's the point of staying in my small place?" It's much more interesting. The ancient ox devil said with a smile. I feel like I'm at home here. Even if you want to chase me away, I won't leave. Qin Yun suddenly said with a stern expression. Did you all notice that pair of big eyes outside? Xiao Yueme nodded and said, I saw it. It's a very scary pair of eyes. I wonder if they will disappear after the sky turns dark. Little demon, do you know the origin of that pair of eyes? The heavenly Lion King held a large bowl of wine and asked solemnly. I don't know. Qin Yun looked at the ancient ox devil and asked, Old ox, do you know? The ancient ox devil and the heavenly Lion King are both very ancient fellows. They definitely know something. Especially the ancient ox devil. He is a member of the ancient heaven race. That thing is the heavenly eyes. The ancient ox devil said with a frown. Sect Master Qin, this pair of heavenly eyes is very scary. It means that heaven is angry. Big Lion, you are a very ancient beast. How much do you know about the heavenly eyes? Xiao Yueme asked. The appearance of this pair of eyes indeed represents the wrath of heaven. The heavenly Lion King said with a mysterious expression. Heaven's wrath is mighty but powerless. Powerless? What does that mean? Xiao Hua asked. It means that there is no heavenly punishment power descending. It's just anger. That's why it's very strange. The ancient ox devil said. Long Yuqing said, those eyes look a bit like the eyes of a dragon. What exactly is heaven's body like? The ancient ox devil shook his head and said, I also don't know. The heavenly Tao is illusory and illusory, but it is closely related to us. Yang Shuriwe asked, Senior Lion King, is the appearance of the heavenly eyes very calm? Of course not. The heaven eye has appeared. The appearance of the heavenly eyes means that the power of exceptional heavenly punishment will descend. The heavenly Lion King said, Legend has it that even the strongest people in the divine desolate and ancient desolate cannot resist this kind of exceptional heavenly punishment and will be turned into ashes. After Qin Yun heard this, he is secretly apprehensive. The appearance of the heavenly eyes is indeed related to the heavenly punishment. He and Xiao Yueme glanced at each other. There is some worry in their eyes. Xiao Yueme can help Qin Yun refine inscription spirit. This is a very heaven-defying existence. Qin Yun is also afraid that the heavenly punishment will be too strong and will injure Xiao Yueme. Therefore, he did not refine inscription spirit again. Oh, that's right. How do you feel when you see the heavenly eyes? Qin Yun asked. He wants to know if other people have the same feeling when they see the heavenly eyes. At first, it was quite scary, but after getting used to it, it doesn't feel like it anymore. The ancient ox devil said with a smile, Sect Master Qin, the heavenly eyes are so black. They give people a very evil feeling. That's why they are a bit scared. Xiao Yueme said with a smile. If it's nighttime, the black heavenly eyes won't be able to see anything. They will blend into the night. Qin Yun is startled because the heavenly eyes he saw are red and the inside of the eyeballs are purplish red. However, the heavenly Lion King and the others saw the heavenly eyes are black. Previously, when he was discussing with Yunlong, Yang Shuriwe, and Princess Anya, they did not mention the color of the heavenly eyes. Qin Yun saw that Yang Shuriwe's expression is very calm and knew that the heavenly eyes she saw are black. Must the color of the heavenly eyes be black? Qin Yun asked. The heavenly eyes are black. There's nothing strange about it. The heavenly Lion King said, if it were any other color, it would be strange. Qin Yun looked at the huge eyes in the sky again and felt even more uneasy because the color of the heavenly eyes he saw is different from other people's. I'll go and rest first. Qin Yun released the floating cloud pagoda and then entered it. Inside the pagoda, he can't see the heavenly eyes, so he feels a lot more at ease. You heard it, right? The heavenly eyes they saw are black. Qin Yun is sitting in a corner at the top floor of the floating cloud pagoda. He is very nervous. Although he has experienced many heavenly punishments, he has never felt so terrified and uneasy like now. Xiao Yun, don't be afraid. If they were really targeting you, they would have already taken action. Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun took out the golden devil horn and said, I wonder if I can contact the evil god here. He tried for a while, Originally, he did not hold much hope, but the golden devil horn suddenly had a great reaction. Great ancestor, how have you been recently? Evil God asked. Not bad. Qin Yun is somewhat pleasantly surprised and said, Guess where I am? You are in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Evil God said, Moreover, you even destroyed the two Xie Yangs of the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. The Dark Royal Race people hate you to the core. Qin Yun said in shock, They actually know that I am in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range? You are a big celebrity. Everyone is looking forward to you coming to the Divine Wasteland as soon as possible. Evil God laughed. They said that you are a human-shaped treasure trove. You came to the Divine Wasteland to give them treasures. These guys are really confident. If I were to go to the Divine Wasteland, they would definitely cry and beg me to leave. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, How is the situation in the Divine Wasteland right now? It's quite chaotic. The Imperial Clan and the Dark Royal Race are fighting, and then some fellows from the Heavenly Law Divine Realm came. They are very, very strong, especially their heavenly armor. Evil God said, What? There are also people from the Heavenly Law Divine Realm in the Divine Wasteland? Qin Yun shouted in shock. What the hell is going on? It's not just the people from the Heavenly Law Divine Realm. There's also the Heaven-suppressing sect and the Ling Tian clan. The people from the Ling Tian clan only appeared in the last few days and caused the people from the Heavenly Law Divine Realm to be in a mess. The Divine Wasteland is extremely lively. Evil God said, Inside the Ling Tian Flying City, there were many sealed Ling Tian clan that could enter the Divine Wasteland. If they went to the Divine Wasteland and encountered the Heavenly Law Divine Realm, they would naturally attack them. You seem to be in a good mood, Qin Yun said. It's pretty good. The Evil God chuckled. Evil God, do you have any news about the Star God? Qin Yun asked. Star God? He has been in seclusion for a long time and hasn't come out yet. If this woman comes out, she will definitely be very strong. The Evil God said. Qin Yun suddenly thought of the Heavenly Eyes and asked, Evil God, have you heard of the Heavenly Eyes? Heavenly Eyes? The Cloud Dragon Mountain Range also has a heavenly eye? The Evil God exclaimed. I thought this thing only appeared in the Nine Desolate Land. Chapter 1948. Qin Yun is even more puzzled. Why is the heavenly eye he saw purple-red while the others saw black? He felt that it was necessary to ask Xie Karu. The Ling Tian clan and the Natural Law Divine Realm definitely knew about the Heaven's Eye. Qin Yun suddenly suspected that the appearance of the Heavenly Eye had something to do with the Ling Tian clan. Great Ancestor, what good things are there in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range? The Evil God asked curiously. Too many, Qin Yun said, but it's not easy to get them. For example, I just obtained a Divine Universe Devil Dragon's Dragon Pearl. Why do you always get such good stuff? The Evil God said jealously. Luck, Qin Yun said with a smile. Goodbye, I'm going to dream. I hope I could be as lucky as you in my dreams. The Evil God cut off the connection because he was greatly agitated. Qin Yun felt that the pair of heavenly eyes might have appeared in the Nine Desolate. It didn't seem to be directed at him, but he was the only one who could see that the celestial eyes were purple-red, while the others could only see black. Qin Yun walked out of the floating cloud pagoda, and the people outside dispersed. Xiao Hua said that the ancient ox demon and the others brought the heavenly Lion King to Heaven Creation City for a stroll. As for Xiao Yueme and Long Yuqing, they asked Yang Shuriwei to give them pointers on some martial arts and cultivation techniques. Shimin Qinglian also joined in the fun. Qin Yun left the Divine Inscription Mountain alone. When he arrived outside, the sky was dark and it was almost dark. At this moment, the three giant cities were all glowing. Both the heaven-creating city and the heaven-suppressing gate were shining with golden light. Ling Tian City, which was completely black, flashed with a white light, illuminating the city. Qin Yun flew towards heaven-suppression gate. He wanted to find Xie Karu. Xie Karu and the others are cultivating in the heaven-suppressing sect's sacred land. That kind of cultivation can increase their strength, especially in the aspect of physical body. Qin Yun suspected that it was related to the divine universe purple gas. The elders of the heaven-suppressing sect were very polite to Qin Yun. After learning that Qin Yun had entered the heaven-suppressing gate, Elder Pang immediately came out to welcome him. "Elder Pang, I want to go to your sacred land. Can I go in?" asked Qin Yun. Of course. I'll take you there right away." Elder Pang smiled. "Sect leader Qin, please." Qin Yun killed the red giant demon and a group of people from the upper realms. While he displayed his formidable strength, he also saved the heaven-suppressing sect. Therefore, the entire heaven-suppressing sect revered him. "By the way, did you contact the people from the higher realm after I killed them?" asked Qin Yun. "Never. The people sent by the upper realm have disappointed us too much. They don't respect us at all." Elder Pang said, "We do not plan to contact the upper realm. Once the heaven-burying tomb matter is over, we will think of a way to enter the sacred desolate." The people from the upper realm did not treat the members of the heavenly suppression sect as human beings at all. After all, Elder Pang and the others have been taking care of the heavenly suppression gate for many years, but people from the upper realm could humiliate them as they pleased. "Elder Pang, that pair of heavenly eyes." Qin Yun looked at the sky. The sky was already dark, but Qin Yun could still see a pair of huge heavenly eyes emitting purplish-red light. Just like during the day, the heavenly eyes are still releasing a very strong pressure, causing Qin Yun to feel terrified and uneasy. Elder Pang smiled. "It's dark now. I can't see anything." In other people's eyes, the heavenly eyes can't see anything at night. But Qin Yun is different. Only he can see that the heavenly eyes are purplish-red. Moreover, they are shining at night. The heavenly eyes also appeared in the divine desolate. "What's going on?" Qin Yun asked. According to ancient records, the appearance of the heavenly eyes is accompanied by the descent of very strong heavenly punishment power. Then it quickly disappears. But this time, it has appeared for a very long time. The heavenly eyes have remained the same. "I don't know what's going on," Elder Pang said. Qin Yun followed Elder Pang and flew towards a very large mountain in the heaven-suppressing sect. This is the heaven-suppressing sect's holy land. There's a very large stone door on the mountain. After Elder Pang brought Qin Yun over, he opened the stone door and said, "Go in and walk straight. You will see young Miss Xie." "Many thanks, Elder Pang." Qin Yun nodded and walked in. The door also closed automatically. Qin Yun quickly walked through a pitch-black passage. The end of the passage is emitting a weak white light. Qin Yun arrived at the end of the passage and saw a curtain flickering with white light. He cannot see through the curtain and cannot see what is inside. "Why can't I go in?" Qin Yun carefully looked and discovered that it is a very strong barrier. Qin Yun lightly yelled from outside, "Sister Karu, I have something to talk to you about." After he lightly yelled a few times, a beautiful and gentle woman suddenly walked out. She is wearing thick clothes. Her wet long hair is overflowing with threads of white light. It is as if she just came out of water. "Xiao Yun, why are you here?" Siekaru looked behind Qin Yun and said with gentle smile, "Shuriwa did not come. She guided Yuanmei and Yu Qing in cultivation." Qin Yun stroked Siekaru's wet long hair and asked, "Are you two cultivating inside? And they're all soaking in water. It is not convenient for you to go in." Siekaru said with gentle smile. "You well on, Xiao Ling and Shuyan don't mind, but Xin can't. Even if I don't mind, I won't go in." Qin Yun laughed and then gently caressed Siekaru's gentle and beautiful face. "If you have something to say it here," Siekaru said. Qin Yun told Siekaru about the appearance of Buried Heaven Land, Ling Tian Clan, and Divine Universe Devil Dragon's Dragon Pearl, as well as the heavenly eyes. While listening, Siekaru slightly creased her shapely eyebrows. Apparently, she found these matters unexpected. The heavenly eyes actually appeared so early. Siekaru is very concerned about this matter. Her expression is somewhat worried. "Sister Kiru, what is the color of the heavenly eyes?" Qin Yun asked. "Black, gold, purplish red. Most people can only see black. Very few people can see golden. Very, very few people see a purple-red color," Siekaru said. In my memory, I once saw a golden color. Qin Yun exclaimed in admiration and said, Sister Crow, you really know a lot, as expected of my Sister Crow. He suddenly can't help but embrace this beautiful woman who is as gentle as water and kissed her forehead. Siekaru angrily laughed. Her soft lily-white hand gently caressed Qin Yun's cheek and said, Xiao Yun, you must have seen purplish red. Sister Kiru, how did you know? And you're still so sure. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, Why do you know so much about me? I just know. Siekaru mischievously smiled and said, Don't worry, don't be scared by the heavenly eyes. The appearance of the heavenly eyes is a good thing and also a bad thing. If you deal with it well, it's a good thing. If you deal with it badly, it's a bad thing. Qin Yun said, They all say that the appearance of the heavenly eyes is because the heavenly punishment or something is about to appear. And the Nine-Sun Divine Spirit suddenly absorbed a lot of Nine-Sun Divine power. Qin Yun also mentioned this matter to Xie Kiru earlier. Xiao Yun, the Nine-Sun Divine Spirit, can evolve. However, this needs to be coordinated with my Nine-In Divine Spirit. Siekaru said, When the time comes, we will make a trip to the buried Heavenland. The two of us will cultivate together and let the Nine-Sun Divine Spirit and the Nine-In Divine Spirit evolve together. So that's how it is. Qin Yun looked at his wrist. No one knows what will happen after the evolution, but it will definitely be very strong. Siekaru held Qin Yun's hand and said seriously, Xiao Yun, you should be at ease and prepare to deal with the heavenly man of the heavenly law divine realm. Their heavenly armor and divine universe divine weapon are very strong. I have a way to deal with the heavenly armor. It's just that the divine universe divine weapon is a bit more troublesome. Qin Yun said, You still have to pay attention to the Ling Tian clan. These guys are also quite difficult to deal with. Siekaru said again. Qin Yun nodded. All right, I will continue to accompany them in their cultivation, especially little Male Yin and Yuelon. They are at a very critical moment. Only when the two of them are strong enough will they be able to unleash the power of the immortal graveyard diagram. Siekaru said. All right. Qin Yun kissed Siekaru's face. I want to kiss you too. Siekaru stood on her tiptoes and kissed Qin Yun's lips. Then, she entered the white light screen with a charming smile and continued to cultivate. Qin Yun's heart is filled with happiness. The fear in his heart towards the heavenly eye also suddenly disappeared. Xiao Yun, it seems that in order to use the immortal graveyard diagram, one needs to have a certain level of strength. Ling Yuner said, Are little Male Yin and Yuelon not strong enough? It should be. Qin Yun hummed a small tune and ran out. After he left the Holy Land, he flew out of the heaven-suppressing sect and returned to the divine inscription mountain. On the way back, he kept looking at the purple-red heavenly eye. Siekaru did not tell him what it means to see the purple-red heavenly eye, and he did not ask. Sister Kiru is still the most awesome, Qin Yun said in his heart. She knows so much about the heavenly eye. Even Princess Anya doesn't know about it. After Qin Yun flew back to the divine inscription mountain, he saw Xiao Hua healing the ancient ox devil. One of the ancient ox devil's horns is actually broken and his head is bleeding. What's going on? Qin Yun said with frown. Old ox, where are your horns? They were chopped off by someone. The ancient ox devil said with a bitter expression. Sect Master Qin, I fought with the Ling Tian clan and lost miserably. Qin Yun looked at the heavenly Lion King and discovered that his eyes are swollen. Senior Lion King, you were also beaten up? Qin Yun opened his eyes wide and said in slight astonishment. Don't mention it. Those freaks from the Ling Tian clan, they were sealed for so long, yet they are still so strong. Heavenly Lion King said, Old ox, your horns should be able to grow back right. I just need to reattach them. It will take a few days to reattach them. The ancient ox devil took out the broken horn. You guys want to challenge the Ling Tian clan? Qin Yun exclaimed in admiration and said, You guys are also very strong. Why are you in such a sorry state? The ancient ox devil snorted. We weren't prepared. Those old schemers don't have any integrity at all. Qin Yin looked at He Shu, Bai Zhe, and the other inscription beasts. They are not injured and did not participate in the battle. In that case, the Ling Tian clan is still very strong. Qin Yin stroked his chin and said, "Then why did they come here? They came to show off. They said that they have been sealed for so many years, but they can still hang us up and beat us up." The ancient ox devil curled his lips and said, "We are considered good. Heaven-suppressing sex elderly was beaten until he cried for his father and mother." Heaven Creation Divine Palace's Zhang Shengxian was also beaten until he vomited blood and admitted defeat. Chapter 1949. Qin Yin heard ancient ox devil's words and said with smile, "Old ox, don't tell me you are saying this on purpose to provoke me into fighting?" He Shu said, "Boss, Demon Ox really doesn't want you to go. Even we don't think you can defeat the Ling Tian clan. Boss, you're the sect leader of our inscription gate, our face. You have such a reputation now. If you lose to the people from the Ling Tian clan, your reputation will be gone." Bai Zhe also advised, "Listen to us, don't go." The Azure Dragon said, "Even if you don't go, they can't do anything. Look, after the Bull Demon Lord was beaten up, they looked down on my Heaven Ancient race even more." The Ancient Bull Demon said unhappily, "Shao Qing, do you think that I have embarrassed the Heaven Old race?" The Azure Dragon laughed. "Isn't that so? If you weren't so aggressive, they wouldn't have found a chance to beat you up." The Heavenly Lion King said to Qin Yun, "Brat, don't challenge the Ling Tian clan. You can't even defeat me, let alone those people from the Ling Tian clan." Qin Yun is very unconvinced in his heart. He said, "Senior Lion King, I think it is still possible for me to defeat you. Do you think you can beat me without equipment?" The Heavenly Lion King said very confidently, "It's true that you're very strong, but that's also because you're lucky to have gotten your hands on quite a lot of good equipment." Qin Yin looked at Ancient Ox Fiend and said with a smile, "Old Ox, I didn't rely on equipment to defeat you last time, right? Then, who do you think is stronger, me or Senior Lion King?" "Well, I think Old Lion is stronger." Old Ox scratched his head and said with a smile, "Sectmaster Qin, I'm just speaking the truth. I have no intention of looking down on you." Qin Yin was even more curious about the Ling Tian clan's strength. It actually made this group of powerful beasts so afraid. "Originally, I didn't intend to go, but after hearing what you said, I have no choice but to go." Qin Yin shook his head and said with a smile, "I'll make a trip to Heaven Creation City now. The fellows from Ling Tian clan should still be there, right?" "Boss, don't go." He Shu hurriedly said, "Those guys are really strong." Qin Yin said, "I just want to see them. I don't necessarily want to fight them. How about this? You guys come with me to take a look." The Ancient Ox Demon and the Heavenly Lion King quickly shook their heads. Previously in Heaven Creation City, they fought with the Ling Tian clan, but they were defeated. Naturally, they didn't want to go again. They would be laughed at by the Ling Tian clan. Qin Yin looked at He Shu, Bai Zhe, and company and said with a smile, "Then come with me." The Black Rat, Bai Zhe, and the three dragons hurriedly shook their heads and refused to go. "Boss, if you lose, it will definitely be very embarrassing. We don't want to see you lose," the Azure Dragon said. Qin Yin could not help but laugh. Then he looked at Shimin Dezhuang, Yi Shaosong and company and said, "Who's coming with me? I don't have time. I have to refine a weapon for Hercules." Shimin Dezhuang said, "Boss, don't worry. You will definitely win." Yi Shaosong said, "Headmaster, you can win." Shimin Dezhuang laughed and said, "How about this? I'll let Pippi Pig accompany you." "All right," Qin Yun said. Pippi Pig, who has turned into a little pig, is also very cute and jumped into Qin Yun's bosom. Qin Yun left the Divine Inscription Mountain and headed towards Heaven Creation City with Pippi Pig. After Qin Yun left, Ancient Devil Ox said, "How about we make a bet here? I bet that Headmaster Qin will lose." "Who bet that he will win?" "I bet that old uncle will win." Shimin Dezhuang walked over and said with mischievous smile, "Grandpa Devil Ox, what do you want to bet with me?" "That depends on what you have." Ancient Devil Ox laughed loudly and said, Ancient Devil Ox is a gambling addict. Even though he is injured, he did not let go of any opportunity to gamble. It must be known that Ancient Devil Ox is an inscription dome master. Therefore, Shimon felt that he could fish out a lot of benefits from Ancient Devil Ox in terms of inscription. Therefore, he gambled, mainly betting on some precious inscription. After Qin Yun entered Heaven Creation City, he immediately headed towards Heaven Creation Mansion. He is now a disciple of Heaven Creation Mansion. Heaven Creation Mansion's Zhang Shengxian is very good to him, so he wants to see Zhang Shengxian first. He just learned from Ancient Devil Ox and others that Zhang Shengxian was also injured by Ling Tian clan. Not long after, Qin Yun arrived at Heaven Creation Mansion. It is nighttime. Heaven Creation Mansion is very quiet. Qin Yun arrived at Zhang Shengxian's large stone house. As soon as he arrived, Zhang Shengxian immediately came to the main hall to meet him. Zhang Shengxian is wearing white clothes. His face is somewhat pale. He looks like a refined and weak scholar. His complexion is not very good. He looks very listless. Zhang Shengxian, your injuries are not serious, right? Qin Yun saw that Zhang Shengxian's complexion is not very good. He is very shocked in his heart. Zhang Shengxian is a sacred transformation expert, yet he was injured by Ling Tian clan. Not bad. I will recover after a month of rest. Zhang Shengxian faintly smiled and indicated Qin Yun to sit down. It seems like your injuries are not on your body. Qin Yun sat down, looked at Zhang Shengxian, and said with a frown, It's mental and soul injuries. Zhang Shengxian nodded his head. I used inscription do technique to fight with them and neglected my soul and mental defense, so I was injured. Qin Yun asked, Are Ling Tian clan people really that strong? Zhang Shengxian's expression is solemn. He nodded and said, Very strong. Palace Mistress can fight them to a draw, but that is because the Ling Tian clan people are giving Palace Mistress face, so they did not defeat her. The reason why Ling Tian Flying City was able to break free from the seal was because Princess and Yi brought Heaven City to save them. Although the Ling Tian clan people are arrogant, they're still very clear about gratitude and grudges. Zhang Shengxian looked at Pippi Pig and said, Qin Yun, this little pig is an inscription beast, right? I remember that the ancient ox devil brought a few very powerful inscription beasts. They said that they are from the inscription gate. Azure Dragon and the others? They are indeed from my inscription gate. Qin Yun nodded. Then you came here to challenge the Ling Tian clan? Zhang Shengxian said with a frown. The people from the Ling Tian clan are very strong. Although they won't kill you, their attacks won't be light. I'll take a look at the situation first. Qin Yun stroked Pippi Pig's head and said with a smile, I'm not that reckless. Zhang Shengxian nodded his head in relief. If you can't beat them, don't force yourself to challenge them. Because even if you win, it's meaningless. I know. The main reason why Qin Yun came here this time is to see just how strong the Ling Tian clan people are. Learning the strength of others can also make oneself stronger. Qin Yun, what kind of inscription ability does this little pig have? Zhang Shengxian asked curiously. It's a very smelly fart. It could be considered a kind of mental attack. Qin Yun said with a smile. It can cause a very strong mental pollution. It's quite deadly. Zhang Shengxian said with a smile. It's really amazing. This can be considered a kind of smelly mental attack. It can cause people to have a very stinky hallucination, thus affecting their mind and soul. It can cause a very strong mental influence on people or beasts. Yes, in the natural world, there are also many beasts and insects that release stench to escape being hunted. Qin Yun nodded. Little pig, I have a very special inscription here that can make you stronger in this aspect. Do you want to learn from me? Zhang Shengxian said. All right, I'm willing to learn. Pippi Pig immediately agreed. He was very sensitive to danger. He could feel that Zhang Shengxian was not dangerous at all, so he agreed. I'll be able to learn it very quickly. Zhang Shengxian was also curious, so he wanted to see how much Pippi Pig would grow stronger. Qin Yun and Zhang Shengxian chatted for a while before leaving the stone house and heading for Sidu Shao, AI's residence. Situ Xiao AI was resting in her room at the Heaven Creating Residence. Qin Yun's arrival immediately alarmed her. Situ Xiao AI sensed that someone has entered her residence, so she immediately got up and ran out with her weapon. Seeing that it is Qin Yun, she felt relieved. Senior Sister Xiao AI, I heard from Zhang Shengxian that you will be fighting with the fellows from the Lingtian clan tomorrow. Is that true? Asked Qin Yun. As the goddess of the Heaven Creating Abode, the people from the Lingtian clan came to challenge the Heaven Creation Palace. I have to accept the challenge, Sidu Xiao AI said as she sheathed the sword in her hand. Although she was resting, she was wearing a white tight-fitting outfit that was ready for battle at any time. Her beauty also added a bit of heroic spirit to her. Are the other heavenly daughters and heavenly sons not going to accept the challenge? Qin Yun asked. They don't dare, because the people from the Lingtian clan are indeed too strong. Sidu Xiao AI said. I also don't have any chance of winning tomorrow. Qin Yun said, don't be afraid. Even if you lose, there's still me. Sidu Xiao AI knows that Qin Yun is very strong. Now that he is here, she immediately felt a lot more at ease. She nodded and said, Qin Yun, when you watch the battle tomorrow, try your best to find out how strong the people from the Ling Tian clan are. Find a way to restrain them. I will try my best to stall for time. Situ Xiao AI's words clearly shows that she does not plan to win. Senior Sister Xiao AI, why do you hope that I can defeat them? Qin Yun sat on a chair and took out a few divine fruits he plucked from the divine inscription mountain and gave them to Situ Xiao AI. Because they said a lot of bad things about you today. Situ Xiao AI said somewhat angrily. Those guys look down on you very much. Qin Yun was startled and said, what did they say about me? Ancient Ox Devil, Heavenly Lion King, and the others did not mention this matter to him. Even Zhang Shengxian did not mention it. Situ Xiao AI bit her lips and did not immediately tell Qin Yun. Senior Sister Xiao AI, did they say very unpleasant things? Qin Yun felt that the words of the Ling Tian clan were definitely unpleasant to hear. Qin Yun suddenly understood why Ancient Ox Devil and the others did not want him to challenge the people from the Ling Tian clan. Situ Xiao AI said, Qin Yun, don't mind what they said. In short, you are very strong. Chapter 1950. Qin Yun immediately realized that the Lingtian clan knew how powerful the 9 Desolate Divine Saber was. Back then, the Lingtian clan and the 9 Sun royal family were definitely powerful clans that existed at the same time. Hence, the Lingtian clan knew that the 9 Sun royal family's 9 Desolate Divine Blade was very powerful. Within the Heaven Creation City, everyone knew that Qin Yun had used his own Divine Universe Metal Stone to exchange for the heavily damaged 9 Desolate Divine Saber. At that time, everyone felt that Qin Yun had suffered a great loss. It was also at that time that he received the nickname Qin Honest. Then what is your father's opinion? Qin Yun asked. Back then, it was Elder Situ who gave him the 9 Desolate Divine Saber. Father said, the 9 Desolate Divine Saber has already been given to you. The Heaven-Creating Divine Palace cannot take it back. Situ Xiao AI said, what's going on with this Ling Tian clan? Why do they want that broken blade? We have already told them about the 9 Desolate Divine Blade situation, but they are still very persistent in wanting to obtain it. Qin Yun still does not know how strong the 9 Desolate Divine Saber will be after it is restored. In short, it is definitely not an ordinary item. Senior Sister Xiao AI, you rest first. I will make a trip to the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. Qin Yun said. All right. Situ Xiao I nodded. Late at night, Qin Yun headed to the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. Princess Yi was in the Heaven Creating God Palace. During the day, she had also fought with the people of Ling Tian clan, so she was currently resting in the palace. Qin Yun could freely enter and exit the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. He went directly to the central main hall where Princess Anya was staying. In the entire Heaven Creation Divine Palace, only Qin Yun can walk around the Palace Master's main hall at will. Qin Yun used the soul-chasing talisman to find Princess Anya. The main hall in the middle was relatively large. It took Qin Yun a lot of time to find where Princess Anya was resting. Princess Anya was in a secret room underground. At that moment, Qin Yun was outside the secret chamber's stone door. Why is she hiding underground? This is not the first time Qin Yun came here. This underground secret stone room is the location of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace's 9 Dragons Heavenly Origin Formation. Qin Yun stood outside the stone door and gently knocked on it. "Princess, I am Qin Yun." Princess Yi immediately responded with a surprised voice. "Qin Yun, why did you come to me so late? Is there anything important?" "Yes," Qin Yun said. The stone door suddenly opened on its own, and a wave of energy from the 9 Dragons Heavenly Origin Formation surged out. After Qin Yun entered, he saw Princess Anya, dressed in a snow-white dress, floating in the air of the stone room. Princess Anya's cold face was a little haggard, and her breath was very weak. Even her voice lacked momentum. "Are you hurt?" Qin Yun said in shock. "I heard that you fought with the Ling Tian clan during the day and were actually injured so badly." He had heard that Princess Yi and the powerhouses of the Ling Tian clan had fought to a draw, and it was the powerhouses of the Ling Tian clan who had intentionally let her win. Even in this case, Princess Anya was seriously injured. "My strength is inferior to the experts of Ling Tian clan." Princess Yi faintly sighed, then stood upright in the air and floated to Qin Yun's side. Qin Yun looked at Princess Anya's haggard and beautiful face and suddenly felt the urge to love this haggard beauty. It is mainly because the beauty in front of him has the exact same appearance as Bing Xing. It looks very serious. Qin Yun looked at Princess Anya's tired eyes and felt an inexplicable heartache. He quickly took out a comfortable chair and let Princess Anya sit down. I underestimated the strength of those guys." After Princess Anya sat down, her voice was soft and powerless. Qin Yun said with a frown, "Princess, with your strength, it should be easy for you to recover after being injured for so long. However, your recovery is very slow." Princess Anya sighed and said, "I don't know the reason either. My injuries mainly come from my soul. Those Ling Tian clan fellows have been sealed for so long, but not only did their overall strength not weaken, they have also increased by a lot." "Soul injury?" Zhang Shengxian is also in the same situation. Qin Yun said, "However, Zhang Shengxian's injuries are not as serious as yours. Zhang Shengxian admitted defeat early, and I was too stubborn and stubbornly held on until the end." Princess Anya suddenly frowned and covered her head with her lily-white hands. It is obvious that her soul is causing an intense headache. Is the Ling Tian clan proficient in soul attacks? When Qin Yun saw that Princess Anya was enduring the pain, he quickly placed his hand on her forehead and injected his nether moon mental power into her. They're very good in all aspects. Princess Anya felt a lot more comfortable. She took a deep breath and said, "The ancient ox devil and the heavenly lion king were injured by their powerful physical strength. As for Zhang Shengxian and Princess Anya, their souls suffered heavy injuries. The heavenly lion king and the ancient ox devil both have very strong physical bodies, but they were defeated in terms of physical strength." Qin Yun said, "As for you and Zhang Shengxian, you are both very strong inscription dome masters. You are very strong in terms of soul and mental strength. However, you were seriously injured in this aspect." Qin Yun realized that the Ling Tian clan is truly flaunting their formidable strength. They want to tell the big shots of the other factions here that their Ling Tian clan is very strong in all aspects. They are doing this to establish their might. When Princess Anya saw that Qin Yun was about to take his hand away, she quickly grabbed Qin Yun's hand and let him continue caressing her forehead. Because Qin Yun's hand is caressing her head, it makes her feel very comfortable. Is it really unbearable? Qin Yun stared at Princess Anya's beautiful and haggard face and can't help but caress her cheek. Princess Anya did not resist Qin Yun. She nodded slightly and said, "After the battle with the Ling Tian clan, my soul has always been injured, causing my head to feel like it is being pricked by needles. One must know that after Princess Anya and the Heaven Creation Palace Master fused, the souls of the two nine-son divine maiden fused. They are very powerful. However, after being injured, they are unable to recover and can't even suppress the pain. Your body is so cold. What's going on? Were you always like this? Qin Yun gently caressed her delicate face and felt a very strange coldness. Even though Guanghan Palace's Bingxing cultivates ice-cold power, her face is very warm and soft to the touch. I don't know. Princess Anya's current mental state is very poor. Qin Yun promptly held her lily-white hand and released his absolute yang power. More than half of the immortal emperor power within his body has already been transformed into saint power. What he released now could be considered as absolute yang saint power. The absolute yang saint power that was poured in is very warm. After entering Princess Anya's body, her face became slightly rosy. Let's cultivate together. Qin Yun took out a stool, sat in front of Princess Anya, held her hands and said, "All right." Princess Anya nodded. She has also mastered the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. The main purpose of this cultivation is to help Princess Anya heal her injuries. Sun and Moon Heart Sutra's second level, Divine Fusion Technique. Do you know it? Qin Yun asked. Yes. Princess Anya closed her eyes and said in a low voice, "Let's begin." Divine Fusion Technique is a wondrous state of fusion between two people's mind and soul. After cultivating together, Qin Yun suddenly discovered that the condition of Princess Anya's body is very serious. Very quickly, Princess Anya's consciousness arrived at Qin Yun's illusory space. This is a grassy slope filled with beautiful flowers. Qin Yun sat on a small hill with his eyes still closed. He took the opportunity to investigate the condition of Princess Anya's body. And Princess Anya is now much better because the injury to her soul has been alleviated to a certain extent. Princess, there's a very strong mental power in your body, Qin Yun said in a deep voice. After the battle with you, the Ling Tian clan left their mental power in your body. Really? Why didn't I notice it? Princess Anya asked doubtfully. That kind of mental power is very strange. It can disguise as your power and flow in your body. This is also the reason why your soul can't recover. Qin Yun said, I don't know if this is the characteristic of the Ling Tian clan's cultivation technique or if they did it on purpose. Princess Anya looked around and admired Qin Yun's illusory space. She said, they shouldn't be doing it on purpose. Maybe it's just to intimidate me and show me some strength. You are their benefactor. Qin Yun shook his head. It's really not right for them to treat you like this. Maybe it's because I refused to agree to their conditions, so they gave me some color to see. Princess Anya suddenly thought of something, and her face gradually turned cold. What conditions did you refuse to agree to? Qin Yun asked. They want the 9 desolate divine saber and want me to get it back from you. Princess Anya said, I will never agree to this kind of thing. Princess Anya is very clear about the importance of the 9 desolate divine saber. Although she only has incomplete memories, one of her missions is to find the 9 desolate divine saber. What do they want the 9 desolate divine saber for? Qin Yun said, Did you ask them? They said that they want to replace the 9-son royal family and rule over the 3,000 heavenly domain. And the 9 desolate divine saber can make it even easier for them. Princess Anya snorted. These guys, instead of fighting against the heavenly law divine realm, they actually came to show off their strength to us. You don't regret letting them out, do you? Qin Yun said with a smile. I regret it very much. How could I do such a stupid thing? Princess Anya blamed herself and said, They will definitely go find you. Qin Yun said, I'm not afraid of them. I'll help you heal your injuries first. All right. Princess Anya nodded. Her face revealed a gentle and moving smile and said, Qin Yun, if it wasn't for you this time, I really wouldn't have known about my injuries. Qin Yun used his Nether Sun mental power to devour the very special mental power of the Ling Tian clan people. After devouring, Princess Anya could heal her injuries on her own. Princess, Yueme and Yuelon are both one of the 9 Sun Divine Maiden. Qin Yun said with a smile. We didn't expect this, did you? This? How is this possible? Princess Anya is very shocked. Yuelon, is she really the 9 Sun Divine Maiden? Chapter 1951. This is what Siekiru said. When Qin Yun learned of it, he was also very surprised. All the 9 Sun Divine Maidens are here. Most of them are in the Guanghan Palace. Qin Yun said again, well, it seems that I have to go to the Moon Palace in the future. Princess Anya said, of course, the most important thing now is to find the main mausoleum. Qin Yun said, indeed. Wait patiently. Very soon we will have a way to find the main heavenly cemetery. Qin Yun, the people from Ling Tian clan are too strong. I can't suppress them. I regret letting them out. Princess Anya bit her lip and said, and now they are all eyeing you, wanting to obtain the divine universe amethyst and 9 desolation divine saber in your hands. I hurt you. Princess Dark Knight blamed herself deeply for this. Don't be afraid. I have so many good things, so I naturally have the ability to protect them. Qin Yun smiled and said, Princess, it's not a bad thing for you to let them out. With their strength, they can give the heavenly man of the natural law divine realm quite a bit of pressure. Although Ling Tian clan is quite arrogant, they are especially cautious when facing the natural law divine realm. When they were in the graveyard of heaven, they did not fight head-on with the heaven realm. Princess and Yi said, they came here mainly to avoid the heaven realm. Qin Yun was very surprised and said, they are actually afraid of heaven. The heaven man of the natural law divine realm has not been sealed. Back then, they were able to suppress the Ling Tian clan. The Ling Tian clan has been sealed for many years. And in terms of resources, they are definitely inferior to the heaven realm. Princess and Yi sighed. The current heaven realm has enough power to destroy the Ling Tian clan. Qin Yun said, it seems like the heavenly man from back then was not bragging. Back in the buried heaven land, the celestial beings had told Yun Long that they had found a way to completely exterminate the Ling Tian clan. The reason the Ling Tian clan had come here was definitely because they were wary of the Celestials. The people from the Ling Tian clan are really funny. Qin Yun shook his head and said with a smile, they clearly want to join us to fight against the Celestials, but they can't put down their airs and insist on showing off their strength. Princess Anya snorted and said, they all know that you have a good relationship with Heaven City and Heaven Suppressing Sect, so they don't dare to act recklessly. I'm not afraid of them. Qin Yun said with a smile. It seems like you're the only one who could defeat the experts of the Ling Tian clan. Princess Yi said, you have great potential. With Princess Anya and Qin Yun cultivating together, the injuries to her soul quickly recovered. After the joint practice, Princess Dark Knight's mental state recovered very well, and her body temperature also recovered. Qin Yun, I promised to help you cultivate a powerful sun core, but I never kept my promise. Princess Yi said, it's all right, we don't have time during this period of time. Qin Yun said with a smile, also, I said I would promise you one thing. You can ask me for something. If I can do it, I will definitely do it. Princess Anya said, I haven't thought of it yet. Qin Yun said with a smile, all right, I will return to Heaven Creation Mansion. At noon, Senior Sister Xiao, AI will fight with the Ling Tian clan. If she loses, I will have to fight. When Qin Yun turned to leave, his hand was suddenly grabbed by Princess Anya. Anything else? Asked Qin Yun. If you fight with the Ling Tian clan, you might lose. Princess Anya gently bit her lips and said in a low voice, I will help you cultivate a stronger sun core. Is there enough time? Qin Yun said, there are still several hours until noon. It should be enough. Princess Anya slightly lowered her head, not daring to look directly at Qin Yun. Her jade-like face is slightly red, and she whispered softly, when cultivating, you have to lie down, close your eyes, and take off your clothes. Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. The usually cold and arrogant Princess Anya and the Heaven Creation Palace Master is now in such a shy state. It immediately gave Qin Yun a bad premonition. Forget it. Qin Yun knows that although the beauty in front of him has the same face as Bing Xing, she is not Bing Xing. He will not think that their relationship can go further just because Princess Anya and Bing Xing look the same. Furthermore, he and Princess Anya have a deep entanglement. The two of them temporarily lost their memories, but there is an unknown hatred. Qin Yun wanted to shake off Princess Anya's hand, but she grabbed him even tighter. I'm helping you cultivate the Sun Core, and you are still not willing, are you? Princess Anya is very angry. She stamped her feet and pushed Qin Yun to the ground in a few moments. Big sister princess, can you help me cultivate in a normal way? Qin Yun knew that something bad would happen. You're going to fight with the Ling Tian clan. I must use the fastest way to help you cultivate the powerful Sun Core. Princess Anya sat on Qin Yun's abdomen. The charming beauty who was full of shyness just a moment ago became so violent and barbaric in the blink of an eye. Qin Yun felt that this is very normal. After all, this is the aura of Princess Anya, who has commanded the Heaven Creation Divine Palace for many years. Close your eyes, Princess Anya shouted in a commanding tone. Qin Yun did not close his eyes, but struggled. When he was feeling very depressed, Ling Yun actually cheered crazily, as if she is celebrating the new year. Just as Qin Yun was struggling, Princess Anya suddenly hugged Qin Yun tightly, not letting him run away. The two of them rolled on the ground. Qin Yun shouted, and Princess Anya cursed in a low voice. After fighting with each other for a while, they seemed to be tired and then hugged each other. Princess Anya hugged Qin Yun, and the two of them entered a very wonderful state. Qin Yun only felt that he seemed to have merged with Princess Anya and could clearly feel each other's heartbeat. Qin Yun fell into a trance, as if he was soaking in a warm and comfortable spring. What made him feel most incredible was that Princess Anya's heart seemed to be fused with his. He could feel that Princess Anya's heart was like a blazing sun, very hot, brave and domineering, but also with a kind of wild tenderness. In short, Qin Yun did not know why. In a daze, he fell asleep. When he woke up, he was lying in the middle of this underground palace, surrounded by 9 big pearls. He was still in the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. Awake? Still in time. Xiao AI should be fighting with the Ling Tian clan. Princess Anya stood next to him, wearing a black robe and a white mask. Her hands crossed over her chest and said coldly, "What's wrong with my Sun Core?" Qin Yun asked. "You can feel it yourself." Princess Anya said, "You have a strong enough Sun Core. You can put the sun-suppressing divine arrow into the heart. In battle, you don't need to release the sun-suppressing divine arrow, and you can also use a part of the sun-suppressing divine arrow's ability. Qin Yun's sun-suppressing divine arrow has the ability of 10,000 Devour, which is a very powerful ability." "Thank you, Princess," Qin Yun said with a smile. Weren't you unwilling before?" Princess Anya coldly snorted and said, "You have taken advantage of me. You're not allowed to talk about what happened before. You must not tell Shi Yue and Yuelon." Qin Yun felt a little depressed because he felt that he was the one who was taken advantage of. Also, he fell into a daze and didn't know what happened at that time. "Let's go to the Heaven Creation Mansion," Princess Anya said and walked to the door. Her voice became very cold. Qin Yun suddenly felt that Princess Anya and Bing Xing are a bit similar. Qin Yun followed behind Princess Anya and asked Ling Yun inside the illusory space. "Great beauty in her. I seem to have fallen into a coma. What happened during that time?" "Nothing. She just entered a very strange joint cultivation state with you. It should be a kind of Sun and Moon Heart Sutra," Ling Yun said. "It might be a small part of the 3rd level of Sun and Moon Heart Sutra." "Ah, 3rd level." Qin Yun is very surprised. "You just kissed each other, nothing else," Ling Yun said with incomparable disappointment. "Really?" Qin Yun followed Princess Anya and arrived at the Heaven Creation Mansion. There's a large battle stage in the middle of the Heaven Creation Mansion, and Situ, Xiao AI, is on the stage. The people of Ling Tian clan have already arrived, but they did not go on stage. The time for battle is not up yet. They did not go on stage. The arrival of Qin Yun and Princess Anya caused no small sensation. Although the battle is taking place in the Heaven Creation Mansion, people outside can come in and watch the battle. The people of Heaven Creation City are very familiar with Qin Yun, especially the people of Dragon Race, Imperial Clan, Immortal Desolate Holy Palace, and Nether Sect. Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor, Red Sun Dragon Mother, Immortal Desolate Holy Master, and Heartless Immortal Venerable. These kinds of experts are all here. Qin Yun's appearance here means that he will most likely fight with the people of Ling Tian clan. After Qin Yun arrived, he first greeted the seniors and then paid attention to the people of Ling Tian clan. The people of Ling Tian clan are all wearing animal skin clothes and leather boots. Their hair is disheveled and draped over their shoulders. They're dressed like primitive hunters. This is the people of Ling Tian clan. They are not wearing luxurious armor or anything. Although they are slovenly, it highlights their innate arrogance and unruly nature. Is this sect Master Qin? A middle-aged man of Ling Tian clan walked toward Qin Yun. Although there is a smile on his face, his laughter is filled with contempt. Yes, you are. I'm an elder of Ling Tian clan, Ling Tatian. The middle-aged man laughed loudly. He has a fierce, square face, eyes as big as a cow, and a full beard. When he laughed, he gave people a very fierce feeling. It's an honor to meet you, Qin Yun politely said with a smile. At this time, a young man walked towards Qin Yun and circled around him a few times. Moreover, he is constantly sniffing Qin Yun's body like a dog. Seeing this, everyone felt that this person has a problem. It is very impolite to sniff other people's body like a dog. Brother, are you all right? Qin Yun is also puzzled and asked. Sect Master Qin, why do you have the body fragrance of Heaven Creation Palace Master? Moreover, it is very strong. It seems like the rumor is true. You are indeed the boy toy of Heaven Creation Palace Master. The man said with a smile. I am even more certain of this now. Chapter 1952. Princess Anya is very angry after being accused of having a pet boy. Ling Tatian sensed Princess Anya's anger. He immediately pulled the young man back and said angrily, What nonsense are you talking about? Quickly apologize to the Heaven-creating Palace Master. The young man from Ling Tian clan is also very upright. He curled his lips and said, Clan Elder, didn't you say that? You said that the Heaven-creating Palace Master is very good to Qin Yun. It must be this kind of relationship. Shut up. Ling Tatian immediately covered the young man's mouth, looked at Princess Anya, and said with a smile, Heaven-creating Palace Master, this guy is just talking nonsense. Don't take it to heart. Anyone who knows Qin Yun's strength would not think that Qin Yun is the pet boy of the Heaven-creating Palace Master, because both of them are at the same level. At most, they are lovers. Ling Tian clan's attitude towards Qin Yun and the Heaven-creating Palace Master shows that they don't understand Qin Yun's strength, and they look down on him. Why do you think I am the pet boy of the Heaven-creating Palace Master? Qin Yun doesn't care much, because this is not the first time he encountered this kind of thing. Qin Yun thought of another reason, so he asked out of curiosity. 9 Desolate Divine Saber is a peerless divine saber. You used a broken Divine Universe golden stone to exchange for it. If not for the Heaven-creating Palace Master's love for you, how could she agree? The young man from Ling Tian clan said loudly. This is more or less what Qin Yun guessed. In the eyes of Ling Tian clan, 9 Desolate Divine Saber is indeed very powerful and incomparably precious. Elder Situ is also here. He was the one who proposed to exchange 9 Desolate Divine Saber with Qin Yun. Everyone in Heaven Creation City knows about this matter. During the exchange, they all felt that Qin Yun suffered a great loss. They all thought that Qin Yun was too honest and was fooled by Elder Situ. At that time, Qin Yun was even laughed at as Honest Qin. Everyone in Heaven Creation City knows about this matter. It was not the Heaven-creating Palace Master who proposed to exchange 9 Desolate Divine Saber. Qin Yun looked at Elder Situ and said, Bullshit! 9 Desolate Divine Saber is such a precious thing. If she didn't agree, would she have agreed to exchange it? The young man shouted. Even if 9 desolate divine saber is temporarily damaged, it is still very strong. Qin Yun looked at Elder Situ and asked, Elder, it was you who gave me the 9 desolate divine saber. Does the heaven-creating palace lord know about this? She didn't know. She was in seclusion. Elder Situ said, the 9 desolate divine saber is indeed seriously damaged, and Heaven Creation City needs divine universe golden stone. Qin Yun looked at the people from Lingtian clan and said, why do you want the 9 desolate divine saber so much? Isn't that a broken knife? Broken saber? Why don't you give it to us? Ling Tatian smiled. That won't do. I used a very large divine universe golden stone to exchange for this broken blade. If you want it, just give me a divine universe golden stone of the same size. Qin Yun said with a smile. How big? Ling Tatian said, I don't believe that you have a big divine universe golden stone in your hands. Qin Yun said, I don't have any divine universe golden stone, but I have a divine universe amethyst. The young man from Ling Tian clan shouted, I don't believe you. Take it out for us to see. All right, I will take it out for you to see. Qin Yun can now more or less control the divine universe amethyst. He previously absorbed a large amount of divine universe amethyst to cultivate, plus he obtained the little nether sun. His control over the divine universe amethyst and divine universe golden stone is becoming stronger and stronger. If it was before, the divine universe golden stone would have run away after being released. Now that it is under his control, it can't run away. When Qin Yun and Ancient Ox Devil made the bet, he said that he has a divine universe amethyst. Since everyone knows about this, Qin Yun doesn't need to deliberately hide it. He took out a small box, secretly poured his nether sun into the divine universe amethyst, and opened the box. After opening the box, there is a thumb-sized purple-red crystal inside. Although this purple-red crystal's aura is not overflowing, it has a very dreadful aura, causing people around to secretly feel fear. Even the people from Lingtian clan cried out in alarm. One had to know that when the Divine Universe Sword was refined from the Divine Universe Goldstone, it had a very powerful aura when it attacked. The Divine Universe Amethyst's aura is even stronger. Looking at the Divine Universe Amethyst, those 100+ people from Lingtian clan are all stunned because Qin Yun truly has a Divine Universe Amethyst. Qin Yun immediately put away the Divine Universe Amethyst. He is truly worried that it would be snatched away by these people. I admit that my strength is not very strong, but I'm still very rich. So I am absolutely not the toy boy of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace Master. My reputation is not important, but the Heaven Creation Divine Palace Master is different. She is the Palace Master of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace, and she is also a woman. She cares a lot about her reputation. Qin Yun said. Although he said this, everyone feels that his relationship with the Heaven Creation Divine Palace Master is not ordinary. Ling Tatian groaned and said, Qin Yun, 9 desolate divine saber, is a peerless and evil weapon. It is an extremely evil weapon, and only the Ling Tian clan has a way to restrain it. If you don't want to die from the backlash of this weapon, it is best to give it up as soon as possible. Qin Yun said with a smile, Many thanks for Senior's warning. This junior will definitely be more careful. Lingtian clan youth said with a very scary tone. Do you know how the 9 Sun royal family was exterminated? It was because of that 9 desolate divine saber. They were killed by that saber. There are many legends about the extermination of the 9 Sun royal family. Just listen to them. Qin Yun said with a smile. This is not a legend. Our Lingtian clan understands the 9 Sun royal family the best. That saber will really kill you, Ling Tatian said. Qin Yun said with a smile, That is my problem. If you really want it, then use a big Divine Universe Golden Stone to exchange with me. Forget about big Divine Universe Golden Stones. Lingtian clan doesn't even have small ones. Divine Universe Golden Stones are born inside powerful stars. Back then, the 9 Sun royal family plundered all the Divine Universe Golden Stones in the 3,000 heavenly domains. It is not easy to find one now, Ling Tatian said. Qin Yun is secretly happy because all the divine universe golden stones obtained by the nine-son royal family from the 3,000 heavenly domains are in his hands. Princess Enyi said, "Friends of Lingtian clan, your current enemy is the heavenly law divine realm." Ling Tatian said, "Heaven Creation Palace Master, you saved our Lingtian clan mainly because you want us to deal with the heavenly law divine realm, right? Don't think too highly of us. We are not necessarily a match for the heavenly law divine realm. We were allies back then. That is why I saved you. As for whether or not you want to deal with the heavenly law divine realm, that is your problem." Princess Enyi looked at Situ Xiao AI and said, "You have arranged a fight with my Heaven Creation Palace's disciple. Can you start now?" "Ling Xiaofei, you go." Ling Tatian said to the man beside him. "That's a woman. Send a woman up? I don't want to fight with women. It's boring." Ling Xiaofei curled his lips and said, "If I beat her, people will say that I bully women. That makes sense." Ling Tatian nodded his head, then looked at a tall and valiant woman wearing beast skin and said, "Ling Xiaochu, you go." "All right." Ling Xiaochu is wearing beast skin clothes, revealing a pair of very long thighs and a few sturdy muscles on her lower abdomen. She seems to be a very valiant and powerful woman, and her appearance is also extremely beautiful. After Ling Xiaochu walked onto the large battle stage, Qin Yun immediately felt a very strange energy fluctuation. What kind of power is that? Qin Yun used Extinction Spirit to look inside Ling Xiaochu's body and discovered that there's a very strong silver energy flowing inside. Her blood has turned into some kind of very strong energy. Qin Yun is extremely alarmed. It seems to be a very strong mental power. The mental power turned into blood and fused into the powerful flesh and bones. During battle, using this kind of power to attack can indeed cause great damage to a person's soul. "Xiao Yun, do the blood in their body change when they are fighting?" Ling Yuner asked. Qin Yun used Extinction Spirit to look at Ling Tatian and Ling Xiaofei. The energy in their body is hidden and cannot be seen directly. It seems so. This Ling Tian clan should be a strong clan that is very good at fighting. Qin Yun frowned and thought, this kind of guy might be born with a strong mental power. Their inscription, Dome Master, must be very strong. Zhang Shengxian lost to the Ling Tian clan in an inscription battle. Strange, their inscription level should be pretty good. Why don't they have good equipment? Look at them, they're all wearing beast skin. Ling Yuner said, those beast skins have been simply processed. At most they can only resist fire. They don't have any special defensive power. Ling Xiaochu is a woman on the battle stage. She is only wearing simple clothes and wrapping her body. She doesn't need to rely on these beast skins for defense. After the battle stage's barrier opened, Princess Anya shouted, "Begin!" As soon as the battle began, Situ Xiao AI used Heavenly Strong Dao Technique. Heavenly Strong Dao Technique was passed down to her by Heaven Creation Palace Master. It is a very strong defensive Dao technique that can make one's body very sturdy. Ling Xiaochu's expression is indifferent. It is as if she doesn't care about this battle at all. She looks very casual. She just stood on the same spot and looked at Situ Xiao AI lazily. Situ Xiao AI's elegant and beautiful face is now filled with seriousness, making her look somewhat ice-cold. Her high ponytail fluttered along with the aura released from her body. After using Heavenly Strong Dao Technique, Situ Xiao AI thought that her opponent would attack. She did not expect that she would not attack. Situ Xiao AI immediately attacked. A transparent sword suddenly appeared in her hand. Looking carefully, the sword is condensed from water. It is releasing a faint golden light. Situ Xiao AI has water martial spirit. Later on, Qin Yun carved Holy Sword Totem on her thigh, allowing her to condense an even stronger origin sword. She waved her sword and stabbed. Sword energy burst out along with water thorns that enveloped Ling Xiaochu's body. Boring! Ling Xiaochu's body suddenly overflowed with a burst of silver energy and formed a protective shield. Chapter 1953. At the same time that Situ Xiao AI was sent flying, Ling Xiaochu's figure chased after her like a bolt of lightning, and her palm landed on Situ Xiao AI's shoulder very quickly. Boom! Situ Xiao AI's shoulder was struck by the palm, and her body flew back and crashed heavily to the ground. How weak! Ling Xiaofei, who was below the fighting ring, shook his head and smiled. You humans have been in the Nine Wilderness Land for so many years, yet you have not improved at all. Ling Xiaochu looked at Situ Xiao AI, who was lying on the ground, and, after yawning, she suddenly sent out another palm strike. After being continuously attacked, Situ Xiao AI's body was in immense pain, but at the same time, she was able to release a very powerful wave of holy energy that flowed through her body, maintaining the heavenly firmament Tao technique's power. Fortunately, she had used the heavenly sturdy Tao technique, otherwise, her body would have long been injured. At the same time that Ling Xiaochu's palm struck down, Situ Xiao AI rolled on the ground, avoiding the ferocious palm. Who? The palm landed on the ground, and a silver light burst forth along with a gale, blowing Situ Xiao AI away. Ling Xiaochu did not expect that Situ Xiao AI would actually be able to dodge it. She looked at Situ Xiao AI, who was rolling on the ground, and snorted in contempt before leaping over. When she leaped over, her pair of powerful and slender thighs overflowed with waves of silver light. Anyone could tell that if they were to be trampled by her, they would definitely be severely injured. Situ Xiao AI fiercely flipped and jumped into the air like lightning, avoiding Ling Xiaochu's terrifying stomp. Rumble! Ling Xiaochu leaped over and stepped hard on the ground. With her as the center, the ground swayed with silver light and violent airwaves, accompanied by silver lightning whistling out. That kind of power was terrifying just by looking at it. Situ Xiao AI, who was in the air, was shocked. She did not expect the women of the Ling Tian clan to be so ferocious. Ling Xiaochu looked up at Situ Xiao AI, who was in the air, and snorted coldly. You can only hide. As she spoke, she spread her arms, and a ball of silver light surged out from her body. It rushed into the sky and turned into a silver dragon. While Situ Xiao AI was shocked, she released a large amount of water. She possessed a water martial spirit, and the water she released was also very strong. Ling Xiaochu and the silver dragon were instantly submerged by a large amount of water. Ling Xiaochu, who is in the water, is constantly releasing berserk silver energy, causing the water to splash in all directions. Voila! With Ling Xiaochu's angry shout, the water wrapped around her suddenly scattered, unable to condense together. The dispersed water returned to Situ Xiao AI's body and once again condensed into a sword. This time, the sword she condensed was pale gold in color. There was a sword totem on the surface, but inside there were many things that looked like tree fibers. Situ Xiao AI had used the divine tree totem. This time, her origin sword was mainly made of the water martial spirit and the sacred sword totem, while the divine tree totem was inside, combining water and the sacred sword totem. In this way, it wouldn't be easily shattered. Ling Xiaochu, hurry up and end the battle. It's been so long, and you still haven't taken care of her. Ling Xiaofei shouted. It wasn't just Ling Xiaofei. The other youths of the Ling Tian clan were all saying that she was too weak. She couldn't even defeat Situ Xiao AI after so many moves. Ling Xiaochu was also very angry. After all, she was a young person. She was very concerned about her face. She was not weak in the younger generation of the clan, but now she was being pointed at by many people. She wanted to defeat Situ Xiao AI as soon as possible, but she realized that Situ Xiao AI wasn't easy to deal with. Situ Xiao AI also gradually entered the battle state. Holding a long sword in her hand, she rushed over and executed a gorgeous and powerful sword art in a smooth and flowing manner. On the battle stage, several beautiful figures of Situ Xiao AI suddenly appeared. Her sword art and movement technique were both very brilliant, and they were combined to perfection. Her sword art looked like a woman dancing a ribbon. It looked pleasing to the eye, and at the same time, the sword aura that erupted out was shocking. Streaks of sword chi flew out of Situ Xiao. AI's origin soared like beautiful and dazzling ribbons of light. Situ Xiao AI's movement technique was superb. She quickly moved on the battle stage and turned into dozens of figures that surrounded Ling Xiaochu. Then, she continuously shot out countless sword energy. Ling Xiaochu, who was in the middle, felt as if she was being bombarded from all directions. Seeing Situ Xiao AI reverse the situation, the people of Heaven Creation City cheered. Because in so many battles, the people of Ling Tian clan had always had the upper hand. Now, there was finally someone who could suppress the people of Ling Tian clan. At the same cultivation level, the people of Ling Tian clan were indeed very powerful, especially the 9th stage Immortal Emperors. Their saint power was extremely ferocious. That kind of silver energy was very harmful to the soul and mind. Ling Xiaochu, what are you doing? Ling Xiaofei was very anxious and shouted, "Quickly counterattack, quickly defeat her." Ling Xiaochu, you have been beaten to such a sorry state. This is a complete disgrace to our Ling Tian clan. Another youth of Ling Tian clan shouted, "That's right. How strong can the other side be? They actually made you so passive." A large group of young disciples of Ling Tian clan watched anxiously and continuously criticized Ling Xiaochu. This made Ling Xiaochu even more angry. "All of you shut up," Ling Xiaochu roared angrily. At the same time, her body surged with a burst of strong silver light. A large amount of sword energy that flew over was instantly swallowed by the strong light. "Fall for me," Ling Xiaochu shouted loudly, and a silver energy wave surged out of her body. That silver energy wave surged through the huge and spacious battle stage in the blink of an eye and attacked the barrier of the battle stage. The silver energy wave attacked the barrier of the battle stage and let out a series of thunder-like rumbling sounds. The kind of rumbling sound made people's hearts tremble. Even if Situ Xiao AI's movement technique was superb, she was still engulfed by the silver energy wave. She had no choice but to use heavenly strength Dao art to let her body withstand the violent silver energy. Ling Xiaochu saw that Situ Xiao AI was unable to continue showing off her beautiful movement technique, so she sneered and rushed over. She arrived in front of Situ Xiao AI and punched Situ Xiao AI's abdomen. Ling Xiaochu was originally a head taller than Situ Xiao AI, and her body was also relatively large. This punch was so violent that it looked like she was bullying a little girl. There was a loud bang. Situ Xiao AI was sent flying by the punch, and her body hit the barrier. Ling Xiaochu gritted her teeth. She really didn't expect that Situ Xiao AI, who looked delicate and gentle, would have an incomparably hard abdomen. Situ Xiao AI's heavenly strength Dao art is still very powerful. It can make the body very strong. Although it can guarantee that the body will not be seriously injured, it still has to bear a lot of power, and the body will still feel pain. When Ling Xiaofei saw Ling Xiaochu's might, he said with a smile, "That's more like it. Wouldn't it be better to be serious from the beginning?" The people of Ling Tian clan are still worried that Ling Xiaochu would lose. After their Ling Tian clan broke the seal, they challenged the various major powers in the Cloud Dragon Mountain range and had never lost. They had to maintain an undefeated record in order to intimidate the other powers. "Admit defeat," Ling Xiaochu said. "You're not my match." Situ Xiao AI gritted her teeth and said in a low voice, "I won't admit defeat," Ling Xiaochu said with a frown. "Then I can only beat you until you admit defeat." Her fists suddenly overflowed with silver light. The silver light that she released this time was much stronger than before. When Qin Yun saw this, his eyes widened, and he immediately shouted, "Senior Sister Xiao AI, pay attention to protecting your mind and soul." When Situ Xiao AI heard Qin Yun's reminder, she immediately concentrated her power to protect her soul and mind. Ling Xiaochu also heard Qin Yun's shout and cursed a few times in her heart. She rushed towards Situ, Xiao, AI, and shouted, "You can't defend against me." Ling Xiaochu's attack is ferocious. As she charged forward, the silver energy wave that burst out from her body surged like ocean waves. Just the energy wave that erupted from her charge sent Situ, Xiao, AI flying backwards. It also carried a very strong mental attack. In front of Ling Xiaochu, Situ Xiao AI was as weak as a child. Ling Xiaochu only relied on her strong aura to suppress her to the point that she couldn't breathe. The aura that erupted from Ling Xiaochu's charge sent Situ Xiao AI flying. She was pressed against the barrier and unable to move. After getting close, her fists that were condensed with intense silver light violently smashed on his Situ Xiao AI's body. Boom, boom, boom. The fist shadows were like the wind. In an instant, hundreds of punches exploded. Each punch produced a series of explosions, like a series of cannons. Not only Situ Xiao AI's body was attacked, her soul and mind were also constantly attacked by a very strange power. Fortunately, she defended in advance and was able to withstand it. Ling Xiaochu's powerful attack, not to mention Situ Xiao AI, even many of the men present felt fear. Qin Yun's expression is solemn as he watched Ling Xiaochu attack Situ Xiao AI. He knows that Ling Xiaochu is using a very strong mental power. If Situ Xiao AI couldn't defend, her mind and soul would be severely injured, just like Princess Dark Knight. Qin Yun used the extinction spirit eye to observe the energy within Ling Xiaochu's body. He discovered that the silver energy has become much fainter. Ling Xiaochu's attack is very violent and explosive, which means that the consumption is very large. The Lingtian clan's bodies are very strong, but they're only 9th-stage immortal emperors after all. The amount of energy they can store is also limited. In order to maintain this kind of fierce and berserk attack, they need a lot of energy. After Qin Yun observed, he also discovered the advantage of the Lingtian clan in battle. Their explosive power is very fierce, and they can release the formidable power within their body in a short period of time. If their body had to withstand this kind of high explosive energy, they would definitely suffer some losses. Therefore, they can't maintain fighting for a long time. If they continue to fight, their bodies will be very tired, and the consumption will be very large. After Ling Xiaochu beat up Situ Xiao AI, she grabbed her and threw her to the ground. She shouted, "Quickly admit defeat." Situ Xiao AI gritted her teeth. Her ice-cold eyes are filled with stubbornness. It is clear that she has no intention of admitting defeat. There is no need for you to continue. Ling Xiaochu saw that Situ Xiao AI is not admitting defeat and became even more irritable. Her fists once again surged with intense silver light. She is preparing to beat Situ Xiao AI again. Senior Sister Xiao AI used the tree totem. Qin Yun suddenly shouted. Qin Yun carved the divine tree totem on Situ Xiao AI's body. When she heard Qin Yun's reminder, she immediately released many tree vines as thick as an arm and tightly wrapped around her body. Chapter 1954. Qin Yun was giving pointers to Situ Xiao AI below the battle stage. He seemed to be very familiar with Situ Xiao AI, which immediately caused people to discuss in surprise. Everyone knew that Elder Situ had scammed Qin Yun, but Qin Yun did not seek trouble with Elder Situ. The main reason was that Situ AI and Qin Yun had a good relationship. When Situ Xiao AI was fighting, even her father, Elder Situ, could not give her any pointers. Yet, Qin Yun was able to give her pointers. This made one have to think more. Even Elder Situ was astonished because he understood his daughter's situation better than Qin Yun. Situ Xiao AI wrapped herself in tree vines, as if she was hiding in a very hard cocoon. In order to strengthen the defense, Situ Xiao AI condensed another layer of tree bark outside the tree vines. The tree bark and the tree vines were all Situ, Shao, AI's energy, but after passing through the divine tree totem, they could take form. The tree bark formed from the saint power, coupled with the heavenly tenacious Tao technique, made for a very strong defense. Even if she was attacked, she would not feel any pain. Princess Anya said in a low voice, "If you were by my side when I was fighting before, I might have one." Ling Xiaochu was about to explode because she felt that she was really beating a very hard tree trunk. She was unable to break through Situ, Shao, AI's defense, and she had consumed a lot of her power. "Coward, come out quickly," Ling Xiaochu shouted. "Why don't you attack me? If you hide inside, how are you going to attack me?" Ling Xiaochu also did not attack, because she knew that her attack was futile and would waste her energy. Senior sister, Shao AI, combine tree vines and water. Trap her, Qinyan shouted. Situ Shao AI had obtained the Tree of God totem not too long ago. Through the Tree of God totem, her saint energy could transform into a tree. However, she had yet to comprehend how to use it. With Qinyan giving her pointers from the side, coupled with her rich combat experience, she immediately knew how to use it. Situ Shao AI, who was wrapped in the tree bark, also consumed a lot of energy. This was because her holy power had condensed the tree bark and the tree vines. At the same time, she had to use the heavenly firmament Tao technique. Therefore, she had to end the battle as soon as possible. This was the best way for her. On the battle stage, a large mass of water suddenly appeared and enveloped Ling Xiaochu. Within the water, there were many tree vines and leaves intertwined together. Previously, Ling Xiaochu had shaken the water away. But this time, it was not so easy, because the branches and leaves of the tree vines were intertwined with the water, making the water even more compact and solid. The people of Lingtian clan were all shouting, telling Ling Xiaochu to quickly counterattack. Ling Xiaochu was currently submerged in water, and her voice could not be transmitted at all. Otherwise, she would definitely scold Ling Xiaofei and his group of people who only knew how to shout. Senior sister Shao AI, turn yourself into a hedgehog and attack. Qinyan feels that Situ Shao AI can win. The tree bark that wrapped around Situ Shao AI suddenly grew many sharp thorns. They were all very sharp swords. The sacred sword totem could make it easier for Situ Shao AI to condense a sword with her sacred power. Those swords combined with the heavenly strength Tao technique and became very sturdy. Right now, Situ Shao AI was like a tree trunk full of sharp swords. Furthermore, she was spinning frantically. Situ Shao AI rushed toward the water ball made of tree vines and leaves. She was already spinning at high speed. Adding the speed of her attack, her power became even more ferocious. Crash! She broke through the water ball and knocked Ling Xiaochu, who was wrapped in it, out. While Ling Xiaochu was sent flying, her body was also cut by many swords. Her injuries are not light. Sword transform into tree vines, cooperate with the water, and bind her. Qinyan shouted. The tree vines and tree bark that wrapped around Situ Shao AI have been absorbed back in her body, transformed into formidable sacred power, and condensed into two long swords. Sacred sword totem and divine tree totem cooperated and transformed into tree vines, as well as a lot of water. Walala! Two fluttering streams rushed towards Ling Xiaochu and wrapped around her. Admit defeat, Situ Shao AI lightly shouted. You are seriously injured. If you continue to fight, the one who will lose is you. Ling Xiaochu gritted her teeth and looked at Ling Tatian below the stage. Ling Xiaofei yelled, Admit defeat, my ass. Quickly break free from those broken things. Rush over and beat her face. Ling Tatian let out a long sigh and yelled, Admit defeat. I admit defeat. Ling Xiaochu also knows that if she continues to fight, her chances of winning are not big. She has indeed underestimated Situ Shao AI. Ling Xiaochu's body is full of sword wounds. Many of them are very deep. Situ Shao AI said, I will heal you. Her water and tree have very strong healing power. Now they are gently wrapping around Ling Xiaochu's body and quickly healing her injuries. Ling Xiaochu feels like she is soaking in a warm, hot spring. This kind of comfortable feeling made her let out a low moan. Feeling that her injuries are quickly healing, she turned her head and lightly groaned. "Thank you." She is somewhat embarrassed because she was too violent towards Situ Xiao AI before. "You are welcome." Situ Xiao AI faintly smiled. Ling Xiaochu looked at Situ Xiao AI. Her pair of beautiful eyes suddenly became somewhat gentle. Situ Xiao AI and Ling Xiaochu walked down from the stage. Ling Xiaofei rushed over and yelled, "Ling Xiaochu, you actually lost. Moreover, you accepted her healing. You have completely lost the face of our Ling Tian clan for millions of years." "Shut up," Ling Xiaochu furiously said. "If it were you, you would also lose. You would lose even more miserably than me." "Bullshit. I can defeat this bitch in 3 moves." Ling Xiaofei is very angry. It is as if he is the one who lost. "You idiot. Don't use your stinky mouth to curse her." Ling Xiaochu became even more angry. Her face is filled with anger. "Aya, you're actually speaking up for her. You lost to her. Did you forget what your surname is?" Ling Xiaofei stomped his feet in anger. Ling Tatian shouted, "Enough, don't quarrel. Don't you think you have lost enough face?" Ling Xiaofei gritted his teeth, pointed at Qin Yun, and yelled, "You, get on the stage. I will beat you until you kneel." Everyone knows that it was Qin Yun who gave Situ Xiao AI pointers that allowed her to reverse the situation. Situ Xiao AI said, "Wait for me to rest. I will fight you. You can't even beat me. Don't even think of beating Xiao Yun. You little girl, just because you defeated Ling Xiaochu, you think you are invincible under the heavens?" Ling Xiaofei said with sneer, "I am the strongest young man of Ling Tian clan. I can beat you up in 2 moves, and you actually want to challenge me." This Ling Xiaofei is truly arrogant, but his strength is indeed very strong. Qin Yun also heard that Zhang Shengxian was defeated by him. "Xiao AI, don't fight him, this guy's a mad dog." Ling Xiaochu pulled Situ Xiao AI to the side. Everyone is somewhat surprised. After Ling Xiaochu was defeated by Situ Xiao AI, she did not hate Situ Xiao AI. Instead, she became good friends with her. Qin Yun is not surprised because Situ Xiao AI is indeed a girl who can easily be liked by others. Qin Yun looked at Zhang Shengxian and saw that he is holding Pippi Pig in his arms. His eyes lit up. He said to Ling Xiaofei, "How about this? I will let my friend fight you. How about it?" "Your friend? A man or a woman?" "I'll say it first. I don't fight with women." Ling Xiaofei looked at Qin Yun with an arrogant expression. Qin Yun walked towards Zhang Shengxian and carried Pippi Pig over. He said with a smile, "How about you fight with this little pig? He is a member of my inscription gate and also my friend." When Pippi Pig heard this, it could not help but shiver. Everyone was startled and then burst into laughter. "Qin Yun, I will chop you into pieces and feed you to the pigs." Ling Xiaofei said angrily, "You actually dare to humiliate me. I will kill you." Letting a young genius like Ling Xiaofei fight with a pig, this already made many people laugh incessantly. And from Qin Yun's appearance, it looks like he is serious. Others do not know how powerful Pippi Pig is, but Qin Yun knows. "Boss, I won't fight. I can't beat him." Pippi Pig began to move around in Qin Yun's embrace, wanting to fart and slip away. "Don't be afraid, you can win," Qin Yun said with a smile. "If you defeat this guy, you will have something to brag about when we return to the Divine Inscription Mountain." There are many formidable inscription beasts inside the Divine Inscription Mountain. If they are not heavenly rune beasts, then they are sun rune beasts. These are all great mountains that small fries like Pippi Pig can only look up to. If he, Pippi Pig, can defeat a guy from Ling Tian clan, then his position in the Divine Inscription Mountain will become very high. You're serious?" Ling Xiaofei is extremely angry. He pointed at Qin Yun and shouted, "You are going too far. You actually want me to fight a pig?" Qin Yun very earnestly said, "Yes, I am serious. If you defeat my friend, I will give you the divine, universe evil dragon's dragon pearl. How about it?" Ling Tatian promptly shouted, "Sign soul contract, fight." Qin Yun is actually using dragon pearl to tempt Ling Xiaofei into fighting. It is clear that he is very confident in this pig. Ling Xiaofei, if you can help our Ling Tian clan obtain a dragon pearl, I will confer you the title of Ling Tian Great Protector. Ling Tatian said with mischievous laugh in order to appease Ling Xiaofei into fighting. This is a very rare opportunity. Ling Xiaofei's anger dissipated a lot. He coldly groaned and said, "Fine, it is delivered to my door anyways. The reason I am fighting is not because of that Ling Tian Great Protector. It is because I want Ling Tian clan to obtain the Dragon Pearl." What Ling Tian Great Protector? I don't care about it all. Defeating a pig to obtain Ling Tian Great Protector will be the weakest. For the benefit of Ling Tian clan, I will reluctantly come out and fight against a pig. Everyone cursed Ling Xiaofei in their hearts. He is obviously very happy in his heart, but his mouth is so hypocritical. Qin Yin secretly sent sound transmission to Pippi Pig, telling him some techniques. After Pippi Pig heard this, he felt very happy in his heart, because he feels that his chances of winning are very high. If he wins this battle, he will be able to brag about it for the rest of his life. Pippi Pig jumped out of Qin Yun's embrace, ran towards the battle stage, and jumped on it. His appearance is very comical. People cannot help but laugh. Is this reliable? Don't kill this cute little pig, Situ Xiao AI said with some worry. Chapter 1955. After Pippi Pig went on stage, he is still somewhat afraid. His body is slightly trembling. And Qin Yun also signed a soul contract with Ling Tatian to make him feel at ease. After Ling Xiaofei jumped onto the stage, he looked at Pippi Pig with an impatient expression and said with sneer, "Little pig, you better admit defeat directly. To be honest, I don't want to beat you up at all. I am the pride of the Ling Tian clan. Beating up a little pig like you is an insult to my image. Fighting with a pig, no matter how you look at it, he will definitely win." If Pippi Pig looked like a ferocious inscription beast, Ling Xiaofei would not be like this. This guy Ling Xiaofei's luck is really good. A young man from the Ling Tian clan said with smile, "This is the Dragon Pearl and Ling Tian Great Protector that fell from the sky. Ling Xiaofei can become Ling Tian Great Protector just by defeating this little pig. Isn't this too easy?" A middle-aged man said with jealousy. Many old fellows have worked so hard for so long, but still failed to become Ling Tian Great Protector. This Ling Xiaofei actually picked up such a big bargain. His life is really good. Many Ling Tian clan people are sighing. They are truly jealous of Ling Xiaofei. It can be seen how high the status of Ling Tian Great Protector is. The barrier around the stage opened. Princess Anya shouted, "Begin." She also doesn't know why Qin Yun brought Pippi Pig up, but she can see that he is very confident in Pippi Pig. When the battle began, many people secretly shook their heads. They all felt that this battle is simply a farce. Pippi Pig is very unhappy in his heart because Ling Xiaofei is looking down on him, the strongest pig. Pippi Pig's cultivation is not low. In the Divine Inscription Mountain, there are many delicious things that can help his cultivation increase very quickly and his body also become very strong. Admit defeat. Ling Xiaofei immediately rushed over and kicked Pippi Pig. Pippi Pig is now a very small and cute little pig. It looks like it can be kicked away with a single kick. However, after Ling Xiaofei flew over, he actually kicked the air. Pippi Pig's body moved like lightning. It flashed a few times, and it looked like it easily dodged. When everyone saw this, they're all very shocked, because Pippi Pig's speed is very fast. Many experts present do not believe that they have that kind of speed. Pippi Pig was a fellow that was very afraid of death. Its speed was also innately fast. It had carried Shimin de Zhuang on its back many times to successfully escape. Little thing, Ling Xiaofei cursed in a low voice, and once again rushed towards Pippi Pig. This time, his body released a very strong silver chi wave. This silver power was the same as Ling Xiaochu's before. When Qin Yun saw the silver light, he could determine that Ling Xiaofei had not used a stronger mental attack. Ling Xiaofei rushed towards Pippi Pig. Both of his palms danced in succession, blasting out waves of berserk energy that landed on the ground and enveloped Pippi Pig. In an instant, more than half of the spacious fighting ring was enveloped by the silver mist. That little thing should be half dead by now, right? Ling Xiaofei rubbed his palms and sneered. Dealing with this kind of little thing is as easy as turning over one's hand. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone exclaimed in surprise, because Pippi Pig suddenly appeared behind Ling Xiaofei, and it was even floating in the air. Ling Xiaofei turned around fiercely, gritted his teeth, and cursed in a low voice. "Damn little thing, why are you so difficult to deal with?" As he spoke, an intense silver light burst forth from his body. Ling Xiaofei was about to unleash a very strong spiritual attack. At the same time, Pippi Pig's buttocks suddenly spurted out a burst of energy. Bullshit! This was Pippi Pig's ultimate move. That wave of energy surged out majestically and covered the entire fighting ring. Ling Xiaofei, who was just about to attack, smelled a foul stench. His facial expression immediately changed drastically, and he let out a strange cry. The power that he had just accumulated in his body also completely dispersed at this moment. It had to be said that Pippi Pig's ultimate move was still very strong. If one didn't defend against it beforehand, they would usually be hit. No one knew what had happened. Because of the barrier, Pippi Pig's attack didn't rush out of the stage. Ling Xiaofei's face was flushed red as he clutched his throat and retched. That kind of stench was not only smelled by the nose, but also deeply felt by the soul. "Fart! There's poison in your fart!" Ling Xiaofei cried out in agony and rolled on the ground. He was currently urging the energy in his entire body to expel that stinky fart. Pippi Pig's buttocks faced Ling Xiaofei and farted again. Ling Xiaofei, who was on the ground, cried out in despair. He was sent flying by a very strong force and crashed into the barrier. Then, his eyes turned white and he foamed at the mouth. "Fart to the heavens!" Pippi Pig shouted excitedly. Then, it ran over while jolting its buttocks and attacked Ling Xiaofei again at close range. Ling Xiaofei was already half dead, foaming at the mouth and twitching. The people below the stage were all dumbstruck. Even Qin Yun felt incomparably surprised. Pippi Pig's smelly fart was indeed very powerful. I won. Pippi Pig shouted excitedly and jumped up and down. Then, it retracted the remnant smell on the stage. Everyone came back to their senses and burst into an uproar. The people from the Ling Tian clan could not believe what had just happened. The genius of their Ling Tian clan had actually lost to a little pig. Just a moment ago, Ling Xiaofei had mocked and accused Ling Xiaochu of losing to Sidu Xiao AI. Now, he had lost to a little pig, and he had lost very badly. Earlier, when Ling Xiaofei was about to release a very strong mental power attack, it was also when his soul and mind were at their most sensitive. Pippi Pig's fart at that time made Ling Xiaofei's soul even more assaulted by that stench. Ling Xiaofei felt that he was attacking a little pig, so he did not defend at all and was defeated by Pippi Pig in a few moves. Princess and Yi counted to 10, but Ling Xiaofei did not get up. She announced that Ling Xiaofei had lost and opened the barrier of the stage to let Pippi Pig down. Ling Xiaofei was carried down like a dead dog. The people of the Ling Tian clan were extremely angry because the genius of their clan had lost to a little pig. This could be said to be the greatest shame in the history of the Ling Tian clan. Ling Tatian checked Ling Xiaofei's condition and said with a frown, "His soul is in a self-sealed state. That's why he fell into a coma. That poison is really powerful. It's not fatal, but it's unbearable. Even his soul is involuntarily sealed. Only in this way can he not continue to be ravaged by that poison." When everyone heard this, they were secretly shocked. That little pig's fart is actually so powerful. After Ling Tatian tormented Ling Xiaofei for a while, he finally woke up the genius. Clan Elder. Did I lose? After Ling Xiaofei woke up, he felt as if he had just had a nightmare. Ling Tatian nodded. I don't want to live anymore. I want to die. Don't stop me. Ling Xiaofei screamed and fainted again. Ling Xiaofei lost miserably. This made the people of Creation Heaven City very happy. The arrogance of the Ling Tian clan has long made the people of Creation Heaven City very unhappy. Now that the Ling Tian clan has lost 2 matches in a row, everyone is very happy. Ling Tatian looked at Qin Yun and said, Sect Master Qin, you really have some ability. The reason why the Ling Tian clan lost 2 matches in a row is because Qin Yun appeared here. It's just that you think I don't have the ability. Qin Yun said with smile. Clan Elder, do you want to fight with me? I'm too lazy to fight. Ling Tatian said. Even if I win, it won't be a glorious victory. After all, I'm a senior. You won't fight even if you win and get the Dragon Balls? Qin Yun said with smile. This is not a question of whether or not I have the Dragon Balls. This is a question of my principles. Ling Xiaofei doesn't fight with women, and I don't fight with juniors. Ling Tatian said righteously. Everyone can see that Ling Tatian is terrified. If the clan elder of the Ling Tian clan loses to a junior like Qin Yun, the prestige of the Ling Tian clan will be destroyed. This caused Qin Yun to feel very surprised. He was fully prepared to fight with the people of the Ling Tian clan, but the other party is terrified. With the help of Princess Yi, he has cultivated a very strong Sun core, but he still hasn't had the time to try it. Qin Yun raised his head and looked at the huge purple-red heavenly eyes in the sky. He can't help but feel alarmed because the heavenly eyes suddenly blinked. Is it an illusion? I feel that the heavenly eyes are blinking at me. Qin Yun said in his heart. It's not an illusion. Ling Yuner said, What you can see, I can also see. It was indeed a blink just now. At this moment, a group of people suddenly flew over from high up in the sky. That group of people are all wearing golden armor, and many of them are giants that are a few meters tall. It's the heavenly guards and heavenly law divine realm. Many people immediately noticed and let out a burst of shouts. These guys. Ling Tatian looked at the group of heavenly men and said with a frown, Are they going to start a war with us? Elder Ling, let's prepare to fight. Princess Yi looked at the heavenly man in the sky and said coldly. The heavenly man and the heavenly armor guard arrived in a mighty manner. Their bodies shone with golden light, and waves of heavenly might penetrated the barrier of Heaven City and enveloped the entire city. It felt as if a ruthless heavenly tribulation was about to descend. The heavenly law divine realm called themselves the incarnation of the heavenly Tao, and the heavenly Tao power they controlled was extremely powerful. Especially the group of heavenly men. The divine universe divine weapons in their hands were the most terrifying. Heaven City, heaven-suppressing sect, and Ling Tian City. All of you listen up. From now on, you are not allowed to take half a step into the buried heaven land. A middle-aged heavenly man shouted. Is the buried heaven land your family? Why are you not allowing us in? Ling Tatian sneered. From now on, the buried heaven land belongs to my heavenly law divine realm. If you're not afraid of death, go in and give it a try. The middle-aged man said coldly. Qin Yun felt that there must be some changes in the buried heaven land, so this group of heavenly men did not want others to go in and destroy it. We are not afraid of you dogs. Ling Tatian shouted angrily. Then I'll give you a warning. After the heavenly man finished speaking, a large purple cloud suddenly floated in the sky. Under the purple cloud, Heaven City, heaven-suppressing sect, and Ling Tian City suddenly trembled. Heaven's Eye, show your might. The heavenly man shouted. Rumble. 2 blood-red lightning bolts suddenly pierced through the purple cloud and struck the barrier of Heaven City. The blood-red lightning bolts pierced through the barrier and landed in Heaven City, causing a violent shock. Chapter 1956. Now that Heaven City was under attack by the celestial being, Princess Anya had to take action. The palace master of the heaven-creating god palace was the most powerful person in the heaven-creating city. If she did not make a move, then the other people in the heaven-creating city would be even more afraid of the heaven man. Qin Yun knew that it was impossible for Princess Anya to deal with so many heavenly people. So he had to help. The heartless, immortal venerable, the sacred master of the immortal desolate land, and the dragon emperor of the immortal desolate land were currently in the heaven creation city. Seeing that the heaven creation city was attacking, they naturally could not just stand by and watch. Are you all crazy? With your strength, you are no match for that group of celestials. They can use the eye of heaven to deal with you. Ling Tatian shouted, "Come back quickly and hide." The attack of the heavenly, I just now made 2 big pits in Heaven City. For the time being, he did not know the situation of casualties. Elder Situ and the others also followed the flying dagger in the air, but they were stopped by Princess Anya, who asked them to stay in Heaven City and evacuate others to hide. The elders of the heaven-creating deity palace were also activating various defensive formations. There were only a few people who went into the sky. They could be considered the top ones here. If they couldn't deal with the heaven realm, then the others would just be throwing their lives away. The people from the Lingtian clan didn't go out because they knew the strength of those celestials. To be able to cooperate with the heaven's eye, this kind of power was very terrifying. When the celestial being in the air saw Princess Anya and the others flying over, he sneered and said, "Are you here to die?" Heaven City is protected by the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. Although we can break it, it will take a lot of time. We were just too lazy to attack. Since you came here to die, I have no choice but to accept you. Our heads. Qin Yun and company could fly out from the inside, but once they left, it would be difficult to enter the barrier again. Therefore, it would be very dangerous for them to go out. That was why Ling Tatian had advised Princess and Yi not to get herself killed. "It's you bastards who will die." The Dark Knight Princess shouted, her voice full of anger. She was the 9-Sun Divine Lady, and it was her mission to protect Heaven Creation City. Heaven City was under attack. She must fight. Not long after, they flew out of the enchantment of Heaven City. There were only 20 to 30 celestials in the sky, and more than 200 heavenly armor guards. Previously, Qin Yun and company had seen more than 100 heavenly beings. More than half of them had yet to arrive. It was very likely that he was still in the buried heavenland. The middle-aged celestial leader's face darkened as soon as he saw Qin Yun's expression. Previously, Qin Yun had caused the natural law divine realm to suffer heavy losses, and he also had the Dragon Pearl and Divine Universe Amethyst in his hands. The heavenly man of the heavenly law divine realm wished for nothing more than to tear Qin Yun to pieces. "Qin Yun, you've got guts," the middle-aged celestial shouted. Then, the heavenly armor guards behind him rushed over. The dozens of celestials didn't attack. They thought that the giant heavenly armor guards were enough. Qin Yun took out dozens of armor suppression sacred talisman weapons. Dozens of flying daggers flew out and formed a talisman weapon formation that surrounded the group of heavenly armor guards. Boom! The talisman weapon formation suddenly exploded with a burst of power. After the talisman array formed by the suppression holy talisman weapon exploded, the heavenly armor guard's heavenly armor would lose its effect. At the same time, Princess and Yi, the heartless immortal venerable, the immortal desolate dragon emperor, and the immortal desolate holy master all rushed towards the group of heavenly armor guards. Using the weapons in their hands, they released powerful saint force and slaughtered the group of heavenly armor guards. The heavenly armor guards who had lost their heavenly armor were unable to withstand a single blow from a saint transformation expert like the heartless immortal venerable. Those 20 or so celestials had originally thought that their 200 or so heavenly armor guards would be able to take down Qin Yun and company. However, they never expected that in just an instant, more than half of them would be killed, leaving only a few dozen behind. The people in the Heaven Creation City were all cheering nonstop. The heavenly armor of the heavenly armor guards was extremely strong, causing people to feel deep fear. At this time, after the heavenly armor lost its effect, it was pitifully weak and was easily killed by the immortal desolate Dragon Emperor and the others. Ling Tatian said in shock, "This Qin Yun, he has something that can suppress the heavenly armor. The talisman weapon he released just now can actually make the heavenly armor temporarily lose its effect." When the 20 or so Celestials saw so many heavenly armors die, they were all infuriated. "Kill!" The leader of the heavenly armor guards shouted angrily. "Senior Long, all of you hold on." Qin Yun didn't have many armor suppression sacred talisman weapons in his hands, and those Celestials all had very strong heavenly armors. Within the Heaven Creation City, many experts flew out one after another. There were a total of 20 to 30 powerful elders from the Nine Yang Divine Palace, Divine Inscription Palace, and Heaven Creation God Palace. On the side of the Heaven Suppression Sect and Divine Inscription Mountain, many experts also came to support. More than 20 Celestials. Now they are facing dozens of powerful enemies. But they are all fearless, because they can see that Qin Yun doesn't have any sacred talisman weapons to deal with them. Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor and Heartless Immortal Venerable rushed in front, followed by Ancient Ox Devil and Fire Qilin, these powerful inscription beasts. They want to buy time for Qin Yun. Qin Yun is drawing runes on his hands. He wants to use inscription battle technique to draw a very strong and large rune to suppress the heavenly armors of those Celestials. Those Celestials all have Divine Universe, divine weapons. And Yang Shuriwei and Ancient Ox Devil also have Divine Universe swords, which they obtained from the upper realms. The Divine Inscription Mountain also turned into Hercules and joined the battle. Xiao Yuemei also has some armor suppression sacred talisman weapons inside the Divine Inscription Mountain. She suddenly released them, and after making the heavenly armors lose their effect, she grabbed the Celestial and vigorously tore them apart. Crash! A Celestial being was torn to pieces in the hands of the giant like Hercules. This caused the people of the Ling Tian clan to feel fear and trepidation. Celestial beings are very strong. The defense and attack power of the heavenly armor and Divine Universe divine weapon are the most terrifying. But now a celestial being has died so badly. Yang Shuriwei also has the armor suppression sacred talisman weapon that Qin Yun gave her. Coupled with the Divine Universe sword in her hand, dealing with a celestial being is not a problem. Out of 20 Celestials, 5 died in an instant. Those Celestials can no longer remain calm. And Qin Yun also quickly drew a set of runes. That set of runes is densely packed, like a very large net. It suddenly fell from the sky. The group of Celestials knew that this is the power of the runes suppressing the heavenly armor. They wanted to dodge, but the net-like runes suddenly shot down a large amount of multicolored light. After being illuminated by that multicolored light, the heavenly armor on their bodies suddenly lost its effect. "Kill!" Qin Yun shouted. Celestial beings without heavenly armor are only slightly stronger in terms of defense. Right now, their most powerful weapons are those Divine Universe divine weapons. However, the people of the Heaven Suppressing Sect and the Ancient Heaven Clan all have Divine Universe swords in their hands. With the cooperation of the experts of Heaven Creation City, they immediately gained the upper hand and suppressed the group of Celestials. "Heavenly Eye, show your might. Kill them." The middle-aged man in the lead shouted. 2 violent bolts of lightning suddenly descended. Qin Yun shouted explosively as a black cyclone suddenly appeared around his body. That cyclone had an extremely terrifying suction force. It was the devouring power of the Nether Sun. The 2 lightning bolts from the Heavenly Eye were originally aimed at Princess and Yi and the others, but they suddenly turned and charged towards Qin Yun. Boom, boom. The 2 blood-colored bolts of lightning charged towards Qin Yun, causing the place where Qin Yun was to explode with red light. Seeing this scene, the people of the Ling Tian clan all cried out in alarm. The people of Heaven Creation City are extremely worried. Everyone could see that the reason Qin Yin drew the lightning onto his body was so that Senior Immortal Heartless and the others could seize the time to attack the group of Celestials. This damned fellow, seeing that the situation was not right, the middle-aged man in the lead cursed in a low voice and was about to escape. Qin Yin was wrapped in blood-colored lightning. The violent lightning revolved around his body and condensed into a large ball of lightning. Don't even think about running. Qin Yin controlled the lightning ball and attacked the middle-aged man who was about to escape. Boom! After the middle-aged man was hit, his body was pierced through by a bolt of lightning. Qin Yin used the light transformation sacred pupil to allow himself to charge forward along with the lightning. His two fingers that were clasped together were throbbing with blood-colored electric threads. Heaven extinguishing 9 fingers, piercing the heavens. The extremely penetrating and violent energy struck towards the middle-aged man's head and instantly pierced through it. As for the other Celestials, they were all killed by the combined forces of the experts from the other great powers. He had won. The people from Heaven Creation City and Heaven Suppressing Sect were all cheering endlessly. The battle in the air just now was intense and turbulent. It lasted for a short period of time, but it was very shocking. Everyone knew very well that if not for Qin Yin, it would have been impossible for them to win so easily. The ability to suppress the heavenly armor caused the heavenly armor guards and celestials of the heavenly law divine realm to lose their powerful defense. The heavenly man is only SOSO. Qin Yin looked at the remaining fragments in the air and snorted coldly. The group of experts in the air sighed endlessly. Although they could kill the Celestials and the Great Sky Armor Guards, it was mainly because of Qin Yin and the Divine Inscription Mountain. The Celestials were only SOSO. Only Qin Yin would dare to say such a thing. The purple clouds in the sky dispersed. Qin Yin looked at the pair of purple-red heavenly eyes. At this moment, he was no longer that afraid. Looks like those fellows have discovered something in the buried heaven land. Princess Anya said, "There's no time to lose. Let's set off for the buried heaven land now." Elderly said, "No problem. However, it's best if we have more sacred talisman tools." Sect Master Qin, how many of those sacred talisman tools are there? The sacred talisman tools need to be refined in conjunction with the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. The Heaven Creation Palace Master and the immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor have a 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. I will pass the refining technique to you and let you refine it together. You should be able to refine quite a few very quickly. Qin Yin said, "There are many outstanding inscription masters in Heaven Creation City and Heaven Suppressing Sect. We will need a lot of time on our way to the buried heaven land. Let's refine it on the way." Princess Anya said. Qin Yin nodded. After returning to Heaven City, Qin Yin passed the refining technique to Princess Anya and Zhang Shengxian. Then he asked them to look for people from the Divine Inscription Palace and the Nanyang Divine Palace to gather more Saint Inscription Masters. The people of the Ling Tian clan had already returned to their Ling Tian flying city. The Ling Tian clan was indeed very powerful, but their equipment was very poor. Even if they had a very powerful body, they would still be unable to resist the equipment of the heavenly guards. They originally wanted to show off their strength to the Heaven Suppressing Sect and the Heaven City, but in the end, they were the ones who showed off. Chapter 1957. The Hercules transformed back into the stone ship garden and flew through the air toward the buried heaven land. Qin Yun stood in the garden and released his mental power to summon the cloud dragon. At dusk, the pair of purplish-red heaven eyes in the sky looked very strange, as if their heavenly might had weakened a bit. Not long after, the cloud dragon appeared. "Senior Yunlong, what's going on with those heavenly eyes? Those heavenly beings can actually make those heavenly eyes show their might." Qin Yun asked. When Yunlong saw the heaven's eye, he said that he would go and ask the people from the natural law divine realm. When he saw Qin Yun, he asked, Are you going to the buried heavenland? Yes. Qin Yun nodded and said, Tell me about the heavenly eyes. The situation of the heavenly eye is very complicated. In short, it's the heavenly eye. As for why it's like this, I don't know either. Yun Long said, The people of a natural law divine realm can indeed get the help of the heaven's eye. After all, they're working for the heavenly Tao. Qin Yun said, That group of celestials came before. He even brought a bunch of heavenly armor guards with him. Yun Long laughed. I know about this. They were all killed by you. When the celestials and heavenly armor guards died, the remaining power in their bodies would be devoured by the cloud dragon realm. So the cloud dragon was very happy. They won't let us enter the buried heavenland. Do you know what happened in the buried heavenland? Asked Qin Yun. The fellow from the natural law divine realm wants to release the sealed evil fellow and enslave those fellows. Yun Long said, Senior Yun Long, where do they open those tombs? Asked Qin Yun. There are two ways. One is to use the heaven seal to directly open it, and the other is to use the heaven creation god palace, natural law divine realm, and heaven suppressing sect to open it, but they can only open the corresponding mausoleum. Yun Long said, So that's how it is. Qin Yun said in puzzlement, Why can these three factions open the corresponding mausoleum? Yun Long said, My guess is that they have the key, but it's not easy for them to open the mausoleum. They need a lot of energy. Qin Yun looked ahead and muttered, I wonder if those guys will find the main heavenly tomb or not. It's not that easy to find the main heavenly cemetery. Even if they find it, whether or not they can enter is another matter. Yun Long said with a smile, Not everyone can smoothly obtain things in the buried heavenland. Qin Yun looked at the pair of gigantic heavenly eyes and said, Senior Yun Long, what color are the heavenly eyes you saw? Golden. What about you? Yun Long said, All they see is black. I saw a purple-red color. Qin Yun said with a frown. Yun Long and Xie Karu also saw a golden color. Yun Long exclaimed, Really? Qin Yun nodded and said, Really, why is it like this? Let's put it this way. The closer one's relationship with the heavenly Tao, the more different the color becomes. For example, most people only had a very ordinary relationship with the heavenly Tao, so they could not see the heavenly eye. But for those who cultivated well, they saw that the heavenly eye was black. This means that they have a certain connection with the heavenly Tao. The cloud dragon said, Gold represents a closer relationship with the heavenly Tao, exclaimed Qin Yun. Yes, I am the boss of the cloud dragon realm, but I am also inseparable from the heavenly Tao. Yun Long is very doubtful. And you can see the purple-red heavenly eye. It means that your relationship with the heavenly Tao is not ordinary. Qin Yun said, Generally, what kind of relationship do I have to have? Is it because I am the enemy of the heavenly Tao? No. It's not as simple as being the enemy of the heavenly Tao. Yun Long said, The reason is very complicated. I am also not too clear. In short, your relationship with the heavenly Tao is very close. If it was a big shot who controlled a heavenly domain, what color would the heavenly eye he saw be? Qin Yun asked again. It's still golden. Yun Long is even more amazed because Qin Yun can see the purple-red heavenly eye. This is very rare. The heavenly eye Siekaru saw was golden. It means that she was once in existence on the same level as Yun Long. Maybe she once controlled a heavenly domain or a world. What are the benefits? Qin Yun asked again. Benefits? I'm not sure, but you can try and comprehend the heavenly Tao through the heavenly eye. Yun Long said, This means that you are very close to the heavenly Tao. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, Close my ass. I am the enemy of the heavenly Tao. Yun Long said with a smile, To be able to become the enemy of the heavenly Tao, this is not something that anyone can do. Try to communicate with the heavenly Tao. Goodbye. I will wait for you in the buried heavenland. Nighttime. The heavenly eye in the sky flickered with purple-red light. It became even more dazzling. Other people can't see the heavenly eye at night. Only a few people can see that the heavenly eye is golden. And it is even rarer for Qin Yun to see the purple-red heavenly eye. Qin Yun is outside, staring at the huge purple-red heavenly eye in the sky. He concentrated his mind and released his mental power, letting his consciousness drift in the air and fly towards the heavenly eye. Gradually, he fell into a state of drowsiness. He only felt that he is in a purple-red space. The sky is purple-red, the ocean is purple-red, and he is soaking in the purple-red ocean. The ocean is slowly rising and falling. It is very warm. Qin Yun feels like he is in a very warm cradle. Where is this? Qin Yun suddenly asked. Home. An illusory voice transmitted over. The voice is a combination of a man and a woman, as if a man and a woman are talking at the same time. Who's home? Qin Yun is lying on the sea, looking at the purple-red sky. You're home, the voice replied. Then who am I? Qin Yun asked again. If you don't know who you are, you can't go home. After the voice finished speaking, the purple-red sky is suddenly filled with purple-red lightning. The sea is also surging, roaring, and surging. A large number of lightning bolts crazily fell down. Qin Yun suddenly woke up. When he woke up, he found that the sky is already bright. Qin Yun looked at the heavenly eye and fell into confusion. He doesn't know if he is dreaming or not. Yinner, what have I experienced? Qin Yun asked. You were sleeping. Did you have a nightmare? Ling Yinner said in surprise. Impossible. You rarely dream. Even if you're dreaming, I know what kind of dream you are dreaming. Qin Yun is secretly surprised. This made him feel even more confused. He recounted his experience. Ling Yinner said in surprise. Impossible. You have this kind of experience. It should be in your soul memory. I can know. But you don't know. Qin Yun looked at the purple-red heavenly eye. Maybe after you find your 8 souls and 9 spirits, you will be able to understand what is going on. Ling Yunner said. Qin Yun looked ahead. Although he is still far from the buried heavenland, and he doesn't know when he will be able to find the main heavenly tomb. But no matter what, he has to find the answer in the buried heavenland. He has 2 past lives, and before these 2 lives, there are other reincarnations. Therefore, he is confused about who he is. Just as Qin Yun is pondering, he suddenly felt his immortal graveyard diagram move. What's going on? Qin Yun immediately took it out. Xiao Yun, come. Siekaru's gentle and pleasant voice came out from the immortal graveyard diagram. All right. Qin Yun immediately flew towards the heaven-suppressing gate. Siekaru and the others are in the heaven-suppressing gate's sacred land. Qi Malian and Xiao Yuelon are both there. Siekaru called Qin Yun over through the immortal graveyard diagram. It is very likely that she wants to complete the immortal graveyard diagram. This is the key to finding the main heavenly tomb. Qin Yun immediately rushed towards the heaven-suppressing gate. After arriving at the heaven-suppressing gate, he quickly entered the Holy Land. The Holy Land of the heaven-suppressing gate has been completely occupied by Siekaru and the others. Qin Yun entered the mountain and saw Siekaru in the passage. Siekaru said with smile, Did anything happen outside these 2 days? A lot of things happened. Qin Yun told Siekaru about the warning from the heavenly man. It seems like the changes in the buried heavenland are getting faster and faster. Siekaru said with a frown. Sister Kiru, why did you ask me to come over? Qin Yun asked. Of course, it's to complete the immortal graveyard diagram. Little Malian and Yuelon already have the conditions to awaken the immortal graveyard diagram. What about them? Qin Yun asked. Take out the heaven-leaping shuttle, Siekaru said with smile. After Qin Yun took out the heaven-leaping shuttle, Siekaru pulled Qin Yun into the 8th secret room. Xiao Yuelon and Qi Malian are actually inside Siekaru's 9 divine spirit. There's a very large space inside Siekaru's 9 divine spirit. Yuelon, little Malian. Qin Yun looked at the 2 beautiful women and said with a grin, Big brother Yun. Qi Malian smiled sweetly. Qi Malian is wearing a white dress. Although she is a young lady as beautiful as a flower in jade, the feeling she gives Qin Yun is that she has never changed since she was young. She's always so cute and pure. Xiao Yuelon said with smile, Little husband, Did you miss me a lot? Of course. Qin Yun smiled, extended his hands, and gently caressed the jade faces of the two charming beauties. In front of acquaintances, Xiao Yuelon is always mischievous, sometimes charming, sometimes mischievous. When fighting, she is a berserk devil, as cold as an iceberg. Her entire body is filled with killing intent. All right, take out your immortal graveyard diagram, Siekaru said with smile. It's been many years. The day has finally arrived. Qin Yin took out his immortal graveyard diagram and said, "Is this the immortal graveyard diagram or the heaven graveyard diagram?" "None of them. The real name is Imperial Heaven Diagram." Siekaru giggled and then placed the 4 heaven graveyard diagrams together, forming them into a square. "Imperial Heaven Diagram?" Qin Yin said with a frown. "Then can we find the main heavenly tomb?" "Of course," Siekaru said. "Let's start dripping blood on it. Blood must be infused with blood spirit power." Chimelian said sweetly, "Sister Karu, why is it the 4 of us?" Xiao Yuelon is also very curious. She said, That's right, I was just about to ask. Why is it Xiao Yun and the 3 of us?" "Because Xiao Yun is very cute. You 2 girls are also very cute." Siekaru giggled and said, "And I'm also very cute. Quickly drip blood." Xiao Yuelon said with a smile, "Xiao Yun was really cute when he was young. I'll have you and May turn him into a little brat some other day. I want to spank his little butt. When the time comes, I'll also pinch Big Brother Yun's face." Chimelian said with smile, "All right, when the time comes, I'll let you guys play to your heart's content." Qin Yun smiled, then began dripping blood and pouring in blood spirit power. The blood of Qin Yun, Xiao Yuelon, and the other 2 women flowed out along with the blood spirit power and poured into the diagram. Chapter 1958. When Qin Yun saw the round bee skin, he said happily, "Did you succeed?" Siekaru is very serious as she continued to drip blood on the round bee skin. She frowned and said, "Not yet. This is only the first stage. We still have to continue. If that's all, then little Mei Lian and I wouldn't have had to painstakingly cultivate for so long." Xiao Yuelon said, "Sister Kiru said that our blood is not strong enough. We went into seclusion in the sacred land for a very long time to reach the standard." Siekaru also knows that Qin Yun's blood is strong enough, so she did not let him cultivate it. However, Xiao Yuelon and Qin Melian were different. In terms of cultivating their bodies, they were not as fast as Qin Yun. The main reason is because he has the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation and the divine universe amethyst crystal, so his body became very strong in a short period of time. "How long will it take?" Qin Melian whispered. "I also don't know. In short, we just need to continue dripping blood. If we succeed, the Imperial Heaven Diagram will stop absorbing our blood." Siekaru finished speaking, then looked at Qin Yun and said, "Xiao Yun, release the 9 dragon heavenly origin formation." 9 dragon marking heavenly blades suddenly appeared and surrounded them. "Open the 9 dragon heavenly origin formation. We will cultivate together. We need to quickly recover our lost blood, because we don't know how long it will take," Siekaru said. After Qin Yun activated the 9 dragon heavenly origin array, they leaned against each other, their bodies pressed against each other. This way, they could enter a state of joint cultivation. The round beast's skin glittered with golden light. Suddenly, it expanded and became very thick, like a thick golden circular board. Not long after it thickened, the speed at which it absorbed blood became even faster. This Imperial Heaven Diagram is very strange. Qin Yun very seriously looked at the surface. He cannot see a single rune. There are heavenly runes and divine runes inside the Imperial Heaven Diagram. They are very complicated. I also don't know what will happen after they are pieced together. Siekaru said, "This circular Imperial Heaven Diagram isn't its final form?" Qin Yun said in surprise. He thought it was just like that. "I don't think so. After the Imperial Heaven Diagram was damaged, it was divided into 4 pieces. Now it is pieced together and needs to be repaired," Siekaru said. Chi Mylan asked curiously. Sister Karu, why does the Imperial Heaven diagram absorb so much blood? Siak Karu said with smile. Because the Imperial Heaven diagram also has its own body. Now that it is absorbing blood, it wants to reconstruct its body. In that case, the Imperial Heaven diagram can turn into a person? Xiao Yuelan's beautiful eyes flickered with extraordinary splendor as she said with a smile. Will it become a great beauty? Siakira chuckled and said, It's possible. Xiao Yuelan's face was immediately filled with anticipation as she said, Hurry up and succeed. Become a great beauty and then stay by my side all day. Qin Yin could not help but pinch her face and said with a smile, Yuelan, why are you thinking about great beauties all day? Don't you miss me, your little husband? Of course I do. Xiao Yuelan smiled and kissed Qin Yin's face. The circular imperial sky diagram was originally emitting a golden light, but now it suddenly turned red. As it rotated, the speed at which it extracted blood became faster and faster. Siakaru solemnly said, The blood loss rate is getting faster and faster. We must seize the time to absorb the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation's power and speed up our recovery. The divine cosmos golden stone inside the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation also began to release energy, allowing Qin Yun and others to absorb the divine cosmos power and cultivate together. This will allow their bodies to quickly produce powerful blood. This won't do. The consumption of blood spirit power is too great. The consumption of our mental power is getting greater and greater. I don't have enough time to recover. Xiao Yuelan suddenly said, The speed at which I recover my mental power can't keep up with the speed at which I lose it. Chi Mylan said worriedly, I'm sorry, I've implicated you. Little Malian, this is not your fault. We're all like this. Qin Yin said, I have the nether moon. Even my recovery can't keep up, let alone you guys. Qin Yun and others can only look at Siakaru. Siakaru said, Use the second level of the Sun and Moonheart Sutra. We will use the divine fusion technique. All right. Xiao Yuelan closed her eyes. I still haven't cultivated the second level of the Sun and Moonheart Sutra with Big Brother. Chi Mylan said with some anticipation. Don't worry, with me leading, we will succeed in an instant. Siakaru leisurely smiled, closed her eyes and said, It's begun. Ling Yun, who is in Qin Yun's illusory space, is very excited because 3 beauties are about to meet her. However, after the divine fusion technique began, the 3 women did not appear in Qin Yun's illusory space. Instead, they are in Siakaru's spiritual world. Inside Siakaru's illusory space, there are 9 large moons in the sky. Golden moon, silver moon, purple moon, blue moon. The 9 huge moons look like they can be touched by raising one's hand. They look like they can fall on the ground at any time. They look very shocking. Sister Kiru, your illusory space is really good. Qin Yin looked around. He is in a grassland. The flowers and plants of the grassland are soaked in warm water, emitting gorgeous multicolored light. From time to time, they will flicker with multicolored light. It is very beautiful. Chi Mylan seems to be intoxicated in this beautiful world. Her big watery eyes are filled with yearning. Xiao Yuelan caressed her pink face and said with smile, Little Malian, you can also turn your spiritual world into this. But it's more beautiful to appreciate in Sister Kiru's spiritual world. Chi Malian said with smile. After using the divine fusion technique to cultivate, their mental power also recovered very quickly. The heaven-suppressing gate is moving and flying in the sky. Many inscription masters have gathered in the Heaven Creation Divine Palace inside Heaven Creation City. They are refining the divine armor-suppressing talisman tool together. Princess Anya released energy through the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation and poured it into the talisman tool. With the divine armor-suppressing talisman tool, they are not afraid of those heavenly armors. The heavenly armors have always been a headache, but now they have been suppressed by the method researched by Qin Yin. In this aspect, many inscription masters cannot help but admire Qin Yun. Even the seniors of Ling Tian clan who have been fighting with heavenly beings for many years sighed endlessly. 3 days passed. When the 3 cities flew towards buried Heavenland, they did not encounter any obstruction from heavenly beings or heavenly armor guards. They have been waiting for the heavenly armor guards to appear. They want to test the power of the divine armor-suppressing talisman tool. In the past, they could not wait to meet the heavenly armor guards, but now they are looking forward to it. However, the heavenly armor guards did not appear. At night, in a plaza of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace, many experts have gathered. Buried Heavenland is quite far from here. Those guys should be patrolling outside. If we meet the heavenly armor guards, it means that we will be able to enter buried Heavenland very soon. Ling Tatian said, "Your Ling Tian clan has been sealed in buried Heavenland for so many years. How much do you know about it?" Elderly asked. "What kind of dangerous things are inside?" "Many. However, only when you get close to those tombs will danger appear. After you go in, you must be careful when you want to break those tombs," Ling Tatian said. Soon after, the elders of Ling Tian clan talked about many things about buried Heavenland, mainly about the dangers. Everyone listened attentively and kept it in mind. Qin Yun and the others are working together to repair the Imperial Heaven diagram inside the heaven-suppressing sect's sacred land. Now, they have been doing it for 3 days. They stopped cultivating the divine fusion technique because the Imperial Heaven diagram did not continue to absorb their blood-soul power. It only absorbed their blood. The Imperial Heaven diagram has changed greatly. It has become like a large plate, completely white, overflowing with white light. It is slowly rotating. Why is the Imperial Heaven diagram related to buried Heavenland? And it is even called Immortal Graveyard Diagram. Qin Yun asked. They can now also feel that the Imperial Heaven diagram is about to be repaired. The construction of buried Heavenland is greatly related to this Imperial Heaven diagram. Siakaru said, "Although it looks like a disc now, it was originally just a piece of beast skin. It only evolved later on." The Imperial Heaven diagram suddenly stopped absorbing blood, stopped rotating, and slowly floated. "Success," Chi Malian said. "It should be a success." Siakaru reached out her hand. The Imperial Heaven diagram suddenly became very soft and fell into Siakaru's hands. Qin also touched it. It felt like he was touching soft, smooth, and white skin. Furthermore, it was warm. "Didn't you say it would become a great beauty?" Xiao Yuelon is very disappointed, but after she touched the Imperial Heaven diagram, she exclaimed, "It's so good to touch. It's as good as the skin of a great beauty. Why is there nothing on it?" Chi Malian touched it and said in bewilderment, "This is a thick white skin, soft, and can be folded. After unfolding, there will not be any creases. The surface is very flat and smooth. It is as big as a disc." "Xiao Yun, where is your heavenly seal? Quickly take it out," Siakiru said. "Huh?" Qin Yun is extremely alarmed and immediately took out the divine king heavenly seal. "Imprint it on it," Siakiru said. Qin Yun used the divine king heavenly seal to imprint on the Imperial Heaven diagram, but there was no reaction at all. "Inject your blood-soul power," Siakiru said again. This time, Qin Yun injected his blood-soul power and imprinted it on the Imperial Heaven diagram. Suddenly, many black runes appeared on the snow-white Imperial Heaven diagram. Those densely packed runes appeared all of a sudden, giving Qin Yun a headache just by looking at them. "Where is the main heavenly cemetery?" Chi Malian is also dazzled. "We have to find Yueme." Siakaru revealed a smile and said, "The Imperial Heaven diagram has been pieced together smoothly. We have succeeded. Why are you looking for that little girl, Yueme? Can she understand it?" Xiao Yuelon is puzzled. Qin Yun and Chi Malian are the same. "I can't understand it. How can Yueme understand it?" Qin Yun doubtfully said, "Using Yueme's small mirror, we can use this diagram to see the buried Heavenland and then find the main heavenly cemetery," Siakiru said with smile. Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. Xiao Yueme is one of the 9 Sun Divine Maidens. She also had a small mirror in her previous life. It seems like she was born with it. Xiao Yuemei's small mirror actually has such a great use. It is clearly not a coincidence. Chapter 1959. Xiao Yuelan said that she wants to move her little sister over. This caused Qin Yun and Xie Qiru to feel extremely astonished. In this cloud dragon realm, space is very stable. Using spatial power to move a living person like Xiao Yuemei over, just thinking about it is very difficult. Xiao Yuelan closed her eyes and said, I am currently sensing that little girl. When I sense her, I will try and see if I can bring her over. Yuelan, will there be any danger? Qin Yun hastily asked. Using spatial teleportation requires opening a spatial passage. Opening a spatial passage and forcefully bringing Xiao Yuemei over. If something happens to Xiao Yuemei inside the spatial passage, it will be very dangerous. Qin Yun understands these things very well. That's why he is very worried. It'll be fine, Xiao Yuelan said with a smile. Just wait and see. I am so close to Yuemei, it will definitely be very smooth. Qin Yun looked at Xie Qiru and said, Sister Qiru, what is she doing? She and Yuemei both have a strand of Sister Shuyin's soul inside their bodies. So when they're close to each other, they can sense each other. Xie Qiru said. Xiao Yuelan suddenly opened her eyes and said with a smile, I can sense that little girl. Then does she know that you are sensing her? Qin Yun asked. Of course not. Xiao Yuelan's body suddenly fluctuated and released a spatial power. Qin Yun is immediately amazed. The spatial power released by Xiao Yuelan is actually so mystical, it can freely travel through the cloud dragon realm. Yinlong said before that one needs very strong spatial power to travel through space in the cloud dragon realm, or use the power of space ants. The spatial power released by Xiao Yuelan is not very strong, but it can cause the surrounding space to fluctuate. Just as Qin Yun and others are looking at Xiao Yuelan in amazement, the spatial fluctuation is becoming more and more intense. Suddenly, a figure appeared beside Xiao Yuelan. Xiao Yuelan is wearing a red dress. She is holding a large piece of meat filled with gravy. Her mouth is oily. Her round eyes are wide open as she looked at Xiao Yuelan and others. Yuemei. Thank you. Xiao Yuelan smiled charmingly, snatched the delicious meat from Xiao Yuemei's hand, and quickly took a few bites. Xiao Yuemei, who is in a daze, immediately reacted. Her meat has been snatched away by her elder sister. She said with hidden bitterness and coquettishly pouting, Elder sister, you could just snatch my meat. Why did you bring me here? They're barbecuing meat right now. If I don't go back now, I'll be eaten by them. Hello, Sister Yuemei, Chi Malian said with a sweet smile. Hello, little Malian. It's all this smelly sister's fault. She didn't even greet me when she brought me over. Otherwise, I would have brought you a lot of delicious food. Xiao Yuemei laughed, and then caressed Chi Malian's cute face. Xiao Yuelan patted her sister's butt and said with a smile, Of course I have something to ask you to come. If I had known earlier, I would have brought all the roasted meat over. Smelly sister, would it kill you to say hello in advance? Xiao Yuemei laughed, and then tickled Xiao Yuelan. The relationship between the two sisters was originally very good. You two wild girls, stop messing around. We need to get down to business. Qiru lightly smiled and walked over to separate them. Sister Qiru, what's the matter? Xiao Yuemei asked. Xie Qiru handed over the imperial heaven chart filled with black threads to Xiao Yuemei and said, Use your mirror to look at it, then think about finding the main heavenly cemetery. Oh, Xiao Yuemei promptly took out her small mirror and looked at the imperial heaven chart. She did not ask anything. Xiao Yuelan is standing behind her little sister, rubbing her face with her hand and giggling. Xiao Yuemei used her small mirror to look at the imperial heaven chart. Not long after, an image appeared on the imperial heaven chart. There's a reaction, Xiao Yuemei said with charming smile. Sister Qiru, what is this? Qin Yun looked at the image on the imperial heaven chart, as if he is overlooking a prairie. There are many small mountains and some cities on the prairie. This is the map of the buried heavenland. Those small mountains and cities are all mausoleums. Xie Qiru said. Where is the main heavenly cemetery? Xiao Yuan asked. Siekaru pointed at a place on the side of the imperial heaven chart. That place is red and completely empty. There's nothing there. The main heavenly cemetery is here, Siekaru said. Qin Yin promptly took out his Gemini treasure mirror and recorded the image of the imperial heaven chart. Through the imperial heaven chart, he can clearly see the topography of the entire buried heavenland. Is this place dangerous? Qi Malian asked. It is definitely dangerous. I will go with Xiao Yun. Siekaru nodded and said, I also want to go. Xiao Yuan hugged Qin Yun's arm and said, I want to follow my little husband. Yuan, don't go. You stay with Yueme and the others. I have another mission for you. Siekaru spoke and pointed at a point on the imperial heaven chart. There is a city on that point. What is this place? Xiao Yuan asked. This is a very big tomb city. There's a very big moon sealed inside. You must find a way to go in and release the moon, Siekaru said. After the moon is released, you must enter the moon's core. There is something inside. Xiao Yuanmei said, I will bring great strength God with me. It will be very easy to accomplish. Siekaru said with smile, Go together with Sister Shuriyue and Shuyan. You will need to work together to release the moon and enter the moon's core. Qi Malian pulled Siekaru's hand and said, Sister Karu, is my mother's soul truly inside the main heavenly mausoleum? If we find her soul, can she be reborn? She is also my friend. I will definitely let her be reborn. Siekaru nodded and said with smile, And my mother's soul? Xiao Yuan said, Don't worry, we can find them all. Siekaru said. Qin Yin said, Sister Kiru, do you know all of these tombs? Siekaru pointed at a tomb city and said, Yueme, you will be responsible for guiding Heaven Suppressing Sect, Heaven Creation City, Emperor Race, and Immortal Desolate Dragon Race to the tomb cities I have designated. After speaking, Siekaru pointed at a few tomb cities. What benefits will they get from entering these tomb cities? Xiao Yueme asked. There will be inheritances suitable for them, Siekaru said. If they obtain those inheritances, they will become stronger. They're all our allies. If they become stronger, we will have more helpers. Xiao Yuemei's small mirror is also recording the topographic map of buried heavenland. Xiao Yuan asked, What are the things in the other tombs? Do they all have treasures or something? Siekaru shook her head and said, Not necessarily all of them. I only know about these tomb cities. I don't know anything else. You must not act recklessly in buried heavenland. There are powerful guys sealed inside some tombs. Is it really good for you two to go to the main heavenly mausoleum? It sounds like that place is very dangerous. Xiao Yueme is somewhat worried. It's fine. You have very important things to do. Once you find the moon, you will know. Siekaru said with light smile, then extended her hand to touch Xiao Yuan and Xiao Yuemei's face. How important? Xiao Yuemei is now very curious. I won't tell you for now. Siekaru playfully smiled. Qin Yin said, Then should we set off now? Siekaru nodded his head. The sooner the better. I'm worried that the natural law divine realm will find a main heavenly tomb. If you don't let Sister Shuyin go with you, she might be angry if she finds out. Qi Malian suddenly said. It's fine. She can understand me. Siekaru said. Luyue Shuyin, Xiao Xianqin, and Yu Shaoling are all cultivating in the sacred land. After making the decision, Xiao Yuan, Xiao Yuemei, and Qi Malian left the heaven-leaping shuttle. As for Qin Yin and Siekaru, they left the holy land of heaven-suppressing sect and headed towards the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. Qin Yin wants to go to the Heaven Creation Divine Palace to find Princess Anya. Princess Anya also wanted to enter the main heavenly mausoleum. Siekaru also agreed to bring Princess Anya along. As for Xiao Yuemei, she went to the heaven-suppressing gate with Xiao Yuan and others to call out Liu Shuyan. In the Heaven Creation Divine Palace, Qin Yun's sky-leaping shuttle floated above Princess Anya's palace. When Princess Yi learned of Qin Yun's arrival, she immediately went out and entered the heaven-leaping shuttle. After entering, she saw Siekaru. Seeing Siekiru's gentle and beautiful face, Princess Yi is very shocked. She took off her mask and stared at Siekiru. Princess Yi's face is exactly the same as Bingxing's. After Siekiru saw her, she was not surprised because she already knew about this matter from Qinyan. You are. Princess Yi looked at Siekiru and felt that she is extremely familiar, but she can't remember who she is. She was Siekiru in her past life, and Siekiru in this life. Qinyan said, I don't know her. Princess Yi is very doubtful. She is also a 9-son divine maiden. Qinyan said again, Can't you feel it? Princess Yi shook her head. Maybe she was born earlier than me. In short, I don't know her, but I feel that she should be someone I am familiar with. Siekiru smiled lightly. It doesn't matter if you don't know her. We are sisters anyway. Qinyan also finds it strange that Princess Yi does not know Siekiru, but she knows that Yang Shuriyue is one of the 9-son divine maidens. Can you leave now? We are going to the main heavenly mausoleum. Qinyan said, We already know where the main heavenly mausoleum is. Sure, but I need to make some arrangements. Princess Yi promptly said, Wait for me. I'll go arrange it now. After Princess Yi left, Siekiru took out the Imperial Heaven diagram and handed it to Qinyan. She said, Xiaoyun, take it. Why are you giving it to me? You should keep it. Qinyan said, This is very important to you. Siekiru said, Moreover, it is only suitable for you because you have the heavenly seal. Qinyan can only accept the Imperial Heaven diagram and said, Why can Yuamei's small mirror make the Imperial Heaven diagram show the terrain of buried heaven land? Is it related to her being a 9-son divine maiden? Chapter 1960. Inside the heaven-leaping shuttle, Qinyan looked at the heavenly eyes in the sky. He is no longer afraid of the heavenly eyes. In the past, he would be frightened every time he saw the heaven's eye. Sitting on the chair, he looked up at the heavenly eye and recalled what had happened when his consciousness had entered the heavenly eye. Siekiru walked over and squeezed into Qinyan's chair, leaning close to him. Qinyan reached out and embraced her delicate body, feeling the beauty's gentle fragrance. Siekiru looked at the heavenly eyes in the sky and said, Xiaoyun, the heavenly eyes I see now are also purple-red. Ah! Exclaimed Qinyan. Siekiru leaned on Qinyan's shoulder and said softly, The heavenly eye seems to be watching us. I also saw heavenly eye blink. Qinyan said, It seems like heaven's eye has noticed you. Siekiru said, Xiaoyun, once you enter the main heavenly mausoleum, you'll be able to find your 8th soul and 9th spirit, and I will be able to find my moon god seat. You, little Malian, Yuelon, and Yuemei's mother can all be resurrected. Then what about my father's true body? Qinyan asked, Is it in the main heavenly cemetery? Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. If it wasn't in the main heavenly cemetery, then it would be in another tomb city. Yuemei will guide immortal desolate dragon emperor and others to the tomb city. Siekiru said, What else is in the main heavenly cemetery? Asked Qinyan. I don't remember too clearly. In short, some things related to us are sealed in the main heavenly mausoleum. Siekiru said, There might not be too many things inside, only things related to us. Qinyan looked at the heavenly eye and was even more puzzled. Why would something related to us be sealed in the main heavenly cemetery? Don't think too much. We will be able to go to main heavenly cemetery very soon. Siekiru gently smiled, then kissed Qinyan's cheek. Princess Anya has arrived. Qinyan and Siekiru left the chair and teleported Princess Anya in. I've arranged it. Let's go. Princess Dark Knight said, With the means to deal with heavenly armor, there's no need to be afraid of those guys, right? Asked Qinyan. Yes, I can also leave Heaven City without worry. Princess Dark Knight said, I want to enter the main heavenly mausoleum and retrieve my memories. Qinyan controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and flew out of Heaven Creation City, quickly flying towards buried Heavenland. Then he took out 2 divine universe swords and handed them to Princess Anya and Siekiru. He said, Take this. If you meet those heavenly beings, and need to fight. Use this. Qin Yin did not let Yang Shuriwa go with him because her moon elves can travel through space. When she and Xiao Yuelon and the others explore the Tomb City, when they encounter danger, they can escape through the moon elves. Siakaru asked them to go to the Tomb City to release the moon and let them enter the moon. Clearly, it is very important to them. Sister Kiru, you know a lot of things. What is your mission? Princess Dark Knight asked curiously. I don't have a mission, Siakaru said with a smile. Actually, 9 Sun Divine Maidens don't necessarily have a mission. Then what is the purpose of the Jiuyang Divine Maiden's existence? Princess Anya frowned. The Heaven Creation Palace Lord, who had merged with her, had guarded Heaven's City for many years. This was her mission. Why people live, we live for that reason. This is our purpose. The so-called mission is because we have to fulfill our promise. Siakaru's expression is somewhat grave as she said, we were able to be born and obtain formidable abilities and power back then. We had to pay a price. Heaven Creation Palace Lord protects Heaven City, and my mission is to help the 9 Sun royal family become stronger. But you don't seem to have a mission. Princess Anya sighed. No, we also have a mission, but it hasn't appeared yet. Or maybe we have already completed it. And you help the 9 Sun royal family become stronger. Your mission has also been completed, right? Siakiru said with a smile. Not yet. I still need to find 9 Sun Divine Spirit and 9 Yin Divine Spirit. Princess Anya shook her head. And I don't know why I need to find these 2 things. I only know that I need to find them on Qin Yin's body. And Qin Yin is also the person I have been looking for many years. She looked at Qin Yin and said with a sigh, I found him, but the 9 Sun Divine Spirit and 9 Yin Divine Spirit are not on him. Siakiru pulled her hand and said with a smile, your memory is not complete. Maybe your memory is confused? Wait until your memory is complete. You will know a lot of things. That's true. In any case, we will be able to go to main heavenly cemetery very soon. Princess Anya nodded and said, Sister Karu, Sister Yang, and the others, why don't they know that they are 9 Sun Divine Maiden? Qin Yin doubtfully said, they don't sense it at all. Siakaru said with a smile, that's because after they were born, they didn't have time to accept their mission, and then a problem occurred. Some of them have been floating in the universe for many years. Some have experienced many things. Since they were created, they definitely have to do something. Originally, us 9 sisters would have been able to accomplish these things very well if we joined hands, but a problem indeed occurred back then. Princess Anya said. Qin Yin said, it seems like your souls have been reincarnated many times. He looked at the heavenly eye in the sky and felt that all of this is related to the illusory heavenly Tao. The Heaven Leaping Shuttle's flying speed is very fast. Under Qin Yun's control, it can be stealthily flown. During this silent flight, time passed very quickly. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 hours have passed. Siakaru and Princess Anya chatted very congenially. Siakaru also learned many things about Heaven Creation City from Princess Anya. Then they talked about the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box. Qin Yin took out the box and the 9 Desolate Divine Saber. Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box and 9 Desolate Divine Saber originally merged together, but under Qin Yun's control, they could be separated immediately. This box was left behind by the 9 Sun royal family. Qin Yin said. Siakaru looked at the box and shook her head. I am not very clear about this box. Only the 9 Sun Divine Maiden who helped the 9 Sun royal family become stronger knows what is going on. She looked at Princess Anya. My memory is not complete. I only know that this Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box requires the bloodline of the 9 Sun royal family to open. Apart from this, it also requires some other things. I will have to wait until I recover my memory. Princess Anya said. Qin Yun said, now I can be sure that the 9 Desolate Divine Saber can restore itself through this box. Put away first. Wait until my memory is complete. I will know the answer. Princess Anya said. After Qin Yin put away the box and the 9 Desolate Divine Saber, Siakaru asked, Princess, Do you know the real reason why those people from Ling Tian clan are looking for the 9 desolate divine saber? They said that they want to find the 9 desolate divine saber and replace the 9 sun royal family in conquering the 3,000 heavenly domains, but that is not the reason. Maybe only the people of the 9 sun royal family know the true might of the 9 desolate divine saber. Princess Anya said, "The 9 desolate divine saber is now only damaged. It is slowly being repaired. Qingyun is not in a hurry. After all, a powerful weapon needs a very long time to be repaired. This is a very normal matter." Night time. The heaven-leaping shuttle entered buried heavenland. After entering buried heavenland, Qingyun subconsciously looked at the heavenly eyes in the sky and saw that they have opened up a lot. "Sister Kiru, did you notice that the heavenly eyes have changed?" Qingyun suddenly said. They have opened up a lot. Xiao Yun, the heavenly eyes seem to be looking at us. Kiru said. Princess Anya said with frown, "It is dark now. You can see the heavenly eyes? Could it be that you can see the other 2 colors of the heavenly eyes?" "Yeah, the heavenly eye we saw was purple-red," Kiru said. Princess Anya let out a low cry. She also knew what it meant to see the other colors of the 3rd eye. Kiru said, "Xiao Yun, the heavenly eye can see. What can you see from its eyes?" "The heavenly eye is purplish-red in color. Moreover, it is very big, flickering in the dark night. Qingyun and Kiru can see it very clearly." Princess Anya is amazed. She didn't expect Qingyun and Kiru to be able to see the purple-red heavenly eye. "This kind of look seems to be a warning look," Qingyun said with a frown. "Is that so? It seems to be reminding us of something," Kiru said. "Why is it like this? Could it be that there's something very dangerous waiting for us in buried heavenland?" Princess and Yi said, "During this period of time, the people of the natural law divine realm did not come to our 3 cities. Why didn't they come?" Qingyun said, "I can only ask Yunlong. I'll go out and find him." The heaven-leaping shuttle stopped. Just as Qingyun was about to leave, the heaven-leaping shuttle suddenly suffered a powerful impact and crashed to the ground. Crack! Crack! The heaven-leaping shuttle seemed to be cracking. "Let's get out," Kiru shouted anxiously. They immediately went out and put away the heaven-leaping shuttle. Just now, there was a force that pressed down on the heaven-leaping shuttle, causing it to land on the ground. In the dark night, on the grassland of buried heavenland, a cold wind blew. After Qingyun and company came out, they did not sense any aura. However, the force that pressed down on the heaven-leaping shuttle was so strong that it almost crushed it. However, there was no aura outside. This sudden and strange power caused Qingyun to shiver involuntarily. Suddenly, the ground of the grassland bulged. Bang, bang, bang. All of a sudden, those bags burst open, revealing white human skulls. Those skulls all had long silver hair and then jumped out of the ground. "What the hell is this?" Qingyun took out the floating cloud rod and infused it with a very strong absolute yang holy power. These skeletons had a head full of white hair, and their skeletons were very big, more than 2 meters tall. However, what surprised Qingyun was that these skeletons all had a very strong 9 yang divine power on their bodies, revealing a kind of arrogance. It made people feel that when they were alive, they were the powerful kings of a region. This is the skeletons of the 9 sons, royal family's kings. Princess and Yi said in shock. Chapter 1961. 9 Sun Royal Race's kings must have been very strong back in the day to have the qualifications to be conferred the title of king. After they died, their corpses were actually inside the burial land. Moreover, after so many years, their bones are still very well preserved. They seem to have very strong divine power. Qingyun is tightly holding the floating cloud staff, ready to fight at any time. Kiru and Princess Anya's nerves are also very taut because these dead kings are still very strong. They were originally gods of divine desolate. Even though they only have bones left, just the power of their bones is very strong. Princess Anya said, "You You are actually together with this man. A skeleton pointed at Qin Yun and very angrily said, Why can't I be together with him? Princess Anya is startled. She did not expect these skeletons to still have consciousness and can even speak. Yushi is clearly Princess Anya's name back then. Back then, as Nine-Sun Divine Maiden, her mission was to help Nine-Sun royal race. He is not worthy of you, another skeleton roared. This kind of roar is incomparably sinister. Qin Yun is incomparably shocked in his heart. These skeletons are all from Nine-Sun royal race's era, yet they all know him. It means that in his past life, he was also from Nine-Sun royal race's era. Princess Anya also doesn't know what happened between her and Qin Yun back then. Siekaru suddenly said, She is not the Yushi from back then. She has reincarnated many times and now has the purest royal race bloodline in her body. Yushi, you have Nine-Sun royal race bloodline? This is impossible. This is impossible. A skeleton shouted in shock. Indeed, I have Nine-Sun royal race bloodline. Princess Anya said, It can be said that she has the same bloodline as you. You have the same bloodline. You cannot be together. Moreover, her bloodline is even purer than yours. Siekaru said again, Impossible. Impossible. The group of skeletons immediately started shouting crazily. Siekaru said, Xiaoshi, drip your blood on them, Sister Kiru this. Will this work? Princess Anya is also very confused. She doesn't have complete memories. She cannot accept the identity of Yushi for now. Those skeletons cannot accept that Nine-Sun Divine Maiden has the same bloodline as them. Quickly, Siekaru urged. Princess Anya produced a few drops of blood, which scattered and turned into a mist of blood. After the blood mist dissipated, it turned into a 9-colored mist that enveloped the group of skeletons. After the skeleton was shrouded in the blood mist, flesh and blood quickly grew out of its body. The monarchs of the royal families immediately cried out in pain before burrowing back into the ground. They're all gone? Princess Anya looked at the ground in front of her and said in a daze. After the skeletons drilled back into the ground, the pits disappeared and the lawn gradually recovered as if nothing had happened. Qin Yun said, The ground of buried Heavenland is very difficult to destroy. As he spoke, he punched the ground with great force, exploding out with strong flames and lightning. When it hit the ground, it only created a pit. The pit quickly recovered, and the flowers and plants quickly grew back. It was very difficult to destroy the buried Heavenland. However, the skeleton man was able to get out just now. Siekaru breathed a sigh of relief and said with a smile, They should not come out again. Sister Kiru, is Yushi my name? Princess Anya asked. Yes, don't you know? Siekaru said with a smile. This is your original name. A3, my memory is very vague. It sounds very familiar to me, but I can't be sure. Princess Anya said, Moreover, I plan to use a new name in the future. Siekaru said with a smile. The name Yushi is very meaningful to you. I don't recommend changing it. Why? Princess Anya asked. You will know in the future. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. Siekaru said. Princess Anya looked at the sky and muttered to herself. Yushi, is this me? What was the original name of the Heaven Creation Palace Master? Qin Yun asked. No name. His mission is to guard the Heaven Creation Divine Palace of Heaven Creation City. Princess Anya shook her head and said, Princess Anya also has no name. She was given the name Anya when she was born. This is mainly the name given to her by the Dark Royal family. Let's go. Let's continue our journey. Qin Yun patted her shoulder. They must quickly go to the main heavenly cemetery. This buried Heavenland is becoming more and more changeable. As soon as the heaven-leaping shuttle entered, it was hit by a very strong force and was almost destroyed. And on this land, there are actually remains of the kings of the Nine-Sun royal family. Qin Yun and company followed the topographic map and headed towards the main heavenly cemetery. At this speed, we should be able to arrive in about 3 days. Siekaru walked at the very front, holding a divine universe sword in her hand. If we don't encounter anything on the way and everything goes smoothly, we will be able to arrive in 3 days. I'm just afraid that we will encounter other damned things. Qin Yun said. Princess Anya said, as long as no sacred transformation expert comes to stop us, there is nothing to be afraid of. Even if a sacred transformation expert comes, I can still kill them. Qin Yun said very confidently. The three of them did not run very fast. They only used a relatively medium speed and flew very close to the ground. They didn't dare to fly in the air because there is a very mysterious power in the air that can press down people who fly in the air. The situation in the buried Heavenland is becoming more and more complicated. Originally, there would be no night here. The three suns were always above their heads. But now, every 2 hours, the day and night would alternate. 2 hours during the day, 2 hours during the night. On the way, they passed by several large mountains and a city. Seeing those mountains and huge cities, Siekaru became very vigilant and warned Qin Yun not to approach. She said that there's a very powerful thing sealed inside. If it is released, the buried Heavenland will become even more chaotic. After a day of rushing, they are much closer to the main heavenly cemetery. In the buried Heavenland, they used all kinds of tombs to determine their location. At this moment, they are resting, and in front of them, there is a palace flickering with golden light. It looks very luxurious. It is a tomb palace. Qin Yun took out the Gemini treasure mirror and looked at the map on it. Then he pointed at a point and said, I am at this place, about 2 days away from the main heavenly cemetery. Let's rest for 2 hours and then continue on our way. Today is quite smooth, Siekaru said with a smile. We didn't encounter anything dangerous. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud pagoda and entered it to rest. After Princess Anya entered, her heart was heavy. Siekaru pulled her hand and said in soft voice, Xiaoxi, what are you thinking about? I am thinking about the matter of those 20 clan kings. Princess Anya lightly sighed and said, Why do they hate Qin Yun so much? Why are they in the buried Heavenland? Siekaru said, Xiaoxi, I am not afraid to tell you. The buried Heavenland is made from the flesh and blood of the 9-sun royal race. Qin Yun's brows twitched and said in alarm, Sister Karu, don't scare people. The flesh and blood under our feet are made from the flesh and blood of the 9-sun royal race. Princess Anya is also extremely shocked because she doesn't know about this. Only very few people know about this. This place is the 9-sun royal race's hero cemetery. When the 9-sun royal race waged war against the 3,000 heavenly domains, many people died and were buried here. It can be said that the entire Cloud Dragon Mountain range is filled with the corpses of many 9-sun royal race experts. Bones. And this buried Heavenland is mainly the royal family cemetery. Princess Anya said, Doesn't that mean that the other tombs were built later? Siekaru nodded and said, Indeed, because this is very good. We chose this place. Qin Yun suddenly realized why the buried Heavenland has such dense 9-sun divine power. Most of it comes from those corpses. The floating cloud pagoda is very sturdy. They can rest in peace here. Day and night in the buried Heavenland change very quickly. It is now dark. The heavenly eye in the sky is still watching the earth, causing the stars and the surroundings to become dim. On the first floor of the floating cloud pagoda, Qin Yun, Siekaru, and Princess Anya are resting and recovering the energy they consumed during the journey. While they are resting, they suddenly felt an indescribable bone-chilling cold attack them. There's a situation, Siekaru promptly said. It's a very sinister power. Qin Yun said. Princess Anya walked towards the door with Divine Universe sword in hand and said, I will go out and take a look. Siekaru promptly stepped forward and pulled her back. She anxiously yelled, Don't go out. Qin Yun looked outside. The earth is pitch black. Near them, there used to be a splendid palace in gold and jade. That palace that flickered with golden light has now turned black. Is the tomb palace about to open? Qin Yun looked at the pitch-black tomb palace from inside the pagoda. The tombs in the buried heaven mausoleum cannot be opened by themselves. Let's not go out yet. Wait for daybreak. Siekiru said. Qin Yun brought them to the highest floor. At the highest floor, Qin Yun and Siekiru saw a pair of purple-red heavenly eyes. It is very frightening. The eyes of the heavenly eyes seemed to be throbbing with lightning. Roar! Suddenly, a burst of roar burst out from outside. It is as if a magnificent army is preparing to rush out. They quickly look towards the direction of the roar. They can vaguely see countless figures over there. There's at least an army of several 100,000. It's skeleton people? Qin Yun said in astonishment. He quickly took out a telescope tool and indeed saw a large group of skeleton people over there, arranged in a square formation. Each square formation is made up of about 10,000 skeleton people. There are a total of several hundred square formations. In other words, there are millions of skeleton people. This is the Nine-Sun royal family's army. Siekiru slightly frowned and said, Are they preparing to go to war? Go to war? Fight who? Don't tell me they're going to attack me. Qin Yun is somewhat worried. Those skeleton people are more than 2 meters tall. Back then, the Nine-Sun royal family's people were all very tall and strong. It shouldn't be. They should be protecting this land. Something must be coming over, Siekiru said. Chapter 1962. The White Bone Army continued to roar as they stepped on the ground, forming all sorts of formations, preparing to face the incoming enemies. The fellows from the Heavenly Law Divine Realm have already opened several tomb cities here. Princess Anya said, the thing that attacked the White Bone Army, did it just come out of the tomb city? Many of the tomb cities in the buried heaven land were extremely huge, so there were definitely many creatures sealed inside. Several tomb cities have been opened, and the Heavenly Law Divine Realm had deliberately released some dangerous things. It was obvious that they did not want heaven-suppressing sect and the others to easily explore the immortal graveyard. Qin Yun and company were at the top floor of the floating cloud pagoda. They looked in another direction and saw a demonic red mist surging over. The blood-colored mist surged like a wave, like a tsunami that had erupted. From afar, there were a lot of things rushing over. Qin Yun used a telescope and could see that there were many red monsters inside the mist. The monster's skin was red, and their bodies were the same size as humans. However, they were relatively large, and there were many damaged scales on their bodies, like fish scales. Many fish scales had fallen off from their bodies, revealing their red skin and emitting waves of red mist. The heads of these monsters were very frightening. They had 2 large horns, and their eyes were at the top of the horns. Their arms were very long and thick, and there was a long red beard under their armpits that could stretch and stretch freely. The long beard flickered with red lightning, and it looked like it could unleash a very strong thunder and lightning power. Their running speed was not very fast, but when they took a step, it was very stressful. It's similar to a 3-meter-tall giant, but each of them weighs at least 10,000 jin. Qin Yun said, with such a heavy body, their strength must be very strong. They're rushing over. Will they destroy this tower? Princess Anya was somewhat worried. Don't be afraid. They won't be able to destroy it. Qin Yun said very confidently. I wonder what these monsters are. Siekiru said. They are charging towards the White Bone Army. Are they going to start a war? The White Bone Army was not afraid at all. They were already prepared to fight. The White Bone Army is formed from the dead people of the Nine Suns royal family. Who is controlling them? Qin Yun asked curiously. Why did they suddenly appear here to fight? Someone must be commanding them. The formation they have set up is very brilliant, Princess Anya said. Soon, the group of red-scaled monsters arrived in a grandiose manner. The floating cloud pagoda was hit by many red-scaled monsters, but it didn't collapse, nor was it damaged. At first, the group of red-scaled monsters planned to smash the floating cloud tower, but they didn't succeed. Many red-scaled monsters were injured when they collided with the floating cloud tower. In the end, the red-scaled monsters could only avoid the floating cloud pagoda. These fellows, were they? Why is the energy on your body so dense? Qin Yun exclaimed. Their bodies are also very strong. Siekiru said with frown. There were millions of skeletons and millions of red-scaled monsters. At this moment, the face-to-face battle was extremely shocking. In just an instant, a fishy stench enveloped the world. The red-scaled monsters were very strong, but the skeleton army was not weak either. The skeletons didn't have any weapons, but the bones in their hands were very stiff. Their skeletal hands could pierce into the bodies of the red-scaled monsters. All sorts of howls could be heard. Many of the red-scaled monsters were torn to shreds. As for the skeleton man, his bones were shattered. This battle erupted with waves of evil energy. The baleful aura was very strong at first, but then it gradually dissipated, as if it was swallowed. The pitch-black buried heavenland was filled with that kind of red mist. The fierce battle continued. The sky gradually brightened. What surprised Qin Yun and others is that after the sky began to brighten, the skeletons suddenly drilled into the ground, and the red-scaled monsters turned into a red storm, blew in one direction, and quickly disappeared. What's going on? Are they going to withdraw at daybreak? Qin Yun looked at the place where the battle took place. It should have been filled with all kinds of broken bones and red blood, but now it is gone. After the fierce battle broke out, nothing was left behind. It is still green grass and red flowers. Let's leave quickly. When the sky turns dark, maybe we will fight again. Siekiru said. They immediately walked out of the floating cloud pagoda and hurried on their way. If they encountered a situation like nighttime, they would not be able to hurry. They can only hide and watch. Princess Anya said, Is it because as we get closer and closer to the main heavenly cemetery, all kinds of strange things happen more often? Maybe. Siekiru is also not too sure. She said, Logically speaking, there should be many things guarding the mausoleum in the buried heavenland, but we haven't seen any of them. Qin Yun said, It will be dark in an hour, and then it will be daybreak in another hour. After the sky turns dark, a great battle will erupt. That kind of great battle can only last for an hour. During the day, those extremely evil things don't dare to come out, so they can only come out to fight after dark. Siekiru said. They increased their speed and flew over the grassland, trying not to fly too high. 2 hours passed in the blink of an eye. The sky gradually darkened. After the sky turned dark, the sound of fierce battle can be heard from a distance. Another great battle has erupted. From that kind of momentum, it is certain that two armies are attacking each other. Qin Yun wanted to contact Yunlong, but he could not. It seems like we were resting in a battlefield just now. That's why we encountered that scene. Siekiru is very relieved. She is very worried that there will be great battles everywhere. It is truly not easy for the 9-son royal race's corpses to be preserved for so long. Qin Yun said, Even though they have turned into white bones, they are still so powerful. Who is controlling those white bones? Princess Anya is very puzzled. Those white bones have no soul, but they can move. This is also what Qin Yun and Siekiru want to know. Inside the buried heavenland, there's clearly a very mysterious power that is secretly plotting something. In the dark night, Qin Yun and company suddenly saw a very large black shadow in the distance ahead. Quickly stop, Siekiru promptly said. After stopping, she asked Qin Yun to take out the map. Qin Yun took out the Gemini treasure mirror and pointed at a small hill above. He said, We just passed through this hill mausoleum. We are about to go to the next mountain. In the buried heavenland, they're guided by the various mausoleums. But there's a very large black shadow over there. Could it be that mountain? Siekiru looked ahead. In the dark night, they are unable to see what the huge black shadow is. From afar, it looks a bit like a mountain, but it is too big. Qin Yun frowned and pondered. After a while, he said, It shouldn't be. According to our speed, it should take several hours to reach the next mausoleum. There won't be anything on the way. Then what is in front? Princess Anya said in a deep voice. Such a big thing. It must be at least a very big mountain. Siekiru said, Let's wait for daybreak and see clearly what is in front of us. It is better to be vigilant. Princess Anya nodded and said, There is only half an hour before daybreak. Let's wait. For the sake of safety, they all stayed in the floating cloud pagoda and waited for daybreak. There is only an hour between night and daybreak. They patiently waited for half an hour in the floating cloud pagoda, and the sky began to brighten. They immediately stared straight ahead. After the sky was completely bright, they saw what was in front of them. It turned out to be an incomparably huge crystal skull. The crystal skull is very big. It is like a towering mountain standing there. During the day, it looks exquisite and translucent, but at night, it is a very big black shadow. Such a huge crystal skull caused Qin Yun and the others to be shocked. This is a human head. Qin Yun took a deep breath and said, "If it is the head of a beast, it would be very normal. But a human head, is there such a big person?" Siekaru shook her head and said, "I don't know if it is a real human head or if someone made it. Such a big thing. Did it appear during this period of time?" "It is not marked on the map," Princess Anya said. "Let's go around and talk." They walked out of the floating cloud pagoda and went around the huge crystal skull. However, their hearts turned cold because when they went around, the crystal skull actually turned around. They originally planned to go around to the back of the crystal skull, but the huge mountain-like head turned around. It looks like a crystal skull and has no eyes, but Qin Yun and the others feel like they're being watched. "I think that pair of heavenly eyes is very suitable for this head," Qin Yun suddenly said. "Don't say any more. You scared me." Siekaru looked at the pair of heavenly eyes in the sky and could not help but tremble. "Will this head turn black at night?" Princess Dark Knight said. "We can't see it clearly when it's dark." Qin Yun said, Let's go. Let's go to the main heavenly cemetery first. This thing did not attack us." Siekaru and Princess Anya agreed and immediately ran forward. They flew close to the ground. After a while, Qin Yun turned his head to look and let out a strange cry. "This thing is following us." Qin Yun shouted, "What the hell is this thing?" Being followed by a crystal skull that was as large as a mountain, even someone as bold as Qin Yun was given a big fright. When this thing moved, how come there was no movement at all? If I didn't look, I wouldn't know. Princess Anya also stopped and looked at the huge crystal skull. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud rod and said, "This thing shouldn't be just an illusion, right? I'll go over and hit it." Just as he was about to go over, Siekaru pulled him and said, "Long-range attack. Don't get close." Qin Yun took out the Nine Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon, aimed at the mouth of the huge crystal skull, and said, "Let's give it a try." They all suspect that the huge crystal skull is an illusion because it doesn't have any aura. Such a big thing following behind them without any wind sound, it is very unusual. Qin Yun shot out the cannon. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.